Hello. Hi. Hello.
I see me.
I know. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. You're a little delayed. Okay, fine. Hi everyone. Tomboy Charm, Kelly P, Wheel, Chico. Thanks for being here. Delana. How is everyone this evening? It has been a day. It's been a day. You're getting on your computer, Tomboy Charm? Okay. Welcome in. We are happy to have you guys here on this Friday night.
Friday.
Friday. Yeah, Friday. I don't know how much of a Friday it is. I'd call it fried. Yay. I'm a little fried. I'm looking forward to a very hot shower and my bed tonight. I will say that. 5 o'clock came very early. I wasn't sure what to expect. And I think nerves and all the things just got to me. And so at 5 o'clock, I was up, ready to go. And off to the courthouse I went to get justice. Well, I'm not getting justice. But hopefully we will all see justice for Rachel Morin. Today was the start of the Rachel Morin trial. The jury had been selected. They had the day off yesterday, and today was opening statements. And wow, so much. So we just have so much to talk about. Mm-hmm. I'm going to start by saying, hi, Missy. Welcome in. Welcome. I want to thank everybody. Oh, thanks, East Texas Chick. That's really kind of you. I appreciate that. It was, the defense must have been on drugs. Oh, we're going to talk about that, Wheel. You're going to get a kick out of today. I'm telling you what. Today started rainy and with huge big banger thunderstorms. And I was like, wow, this is how we're going to start. Okay, cool. And I called LFT at 6:30, 7 o'clock. I don't remember.
We were texting around like 6-ish something. Ironically, she was able to sleep. I was more relaxed last night, but I watched the sun come up. So I was reading on the Kindle, texting with Tia, and then we were at the courthouse. Remember, That's right. But I was like, she's like, I'm gonna go see if it's open, and I was like, it is 7:24 a.m. They are not open yet.
No, they weren't. But with the rain and everything, they did let people in, so it was very nice. And I will say that the deputies were The deputies who let you in and screen you are so much fun. Oh my, I want to hang out with those guys. Those guys they're like the best TSA guys ever. They're so much fun. You walk in and they're like, "Do you have any weapons on you?" And I was like, "No." And
My attitude.
I know, right? Um, and then they're like, "Do you have, nothing in your pockets?" And I was like, "Weapons? No." I said, "I have some mints. Would you like yeah. Would you like a mint?" And they were like, We would like a mint." And then one tried to steal my pen. It was just, they're delightful to have to walk in early in the morning. They were just a delightful group of deputies who were very welcoming in the courthouse. And the courtroom is not as big as I remember for some reason. Not at all. And today was especially close. It was a packed house in there.
Did they end up utilizing like that second room that they
I
set up?
think so, but I'm not 100% sure. I believe they did.
Impression based on the number of like other, like they were only minor updates even throughout the day, because like Tia, or like we had said or posted, you got to go outside of the courtroom to do it. And so there were like a handful, but then I was like, it seems like there are a lot of people in there. So I was wondering, I was like,
It was definitely busy in there. It started with, when I was waiting, I met two lovely, no, they're not very big at all, Missy. No. I met two lovely ladies in the lobby who were there before I was, and they are EMTs, and they are a delight, an absolute delight. And they were just community members who were, I think that I'm going to talk about it, Chico. I'm going to talk about it. I met these two lovely EMTs who just made the day easier. Just community members who came to support Rachel, her family, etc. And I shout out to them. Hopefully they're going to listen to us someday. But they made my life easier. They were kind. They, helped out Matt, family members, seating wise. It was just, it was a really nice vibe in the courtroom, thanks to a lot of the people that were there.
No, Tia was willing to share not her purse, but her tote bag with all of her snacks and pens.
The body bag is what we're calling it. Don't you hush, Chico. Don't you hush. The body bag is what we're calling it. And I had snacks, I had water, I had notebooks, I had mints, Jolly Ranchers, all the things someone needs in court, right? And do you know that every bit of it was used? It was awesome. I got to share my stuff. People were happy. We suppressed coughs, we suppressed appetites, all the things. But anyway, that's just a little beginning of what the day was like. I have some notes. I have all my notes, and I'll go through everything. LFT, if you want to chime in or ask questions or interrupt or whatever you want to do, just do it. I'm just going to kind of be reading through some of this stuff.
I'm going to let you kind of take the lead.
So we sat down. Today was opening statements, and then there were 5 witnesses. Kelly, please just drive. Be careful. We need you. So opening statements, we walked in, we sat down, and the state's attorney, I'm not even going to lie to you. Like, first of all, I'm so impressed with our state's attorney. Allison is an amazing, incredible human being, and she has got this case so under control. I feel and I don't say this about any case, being in there and the way she runs that courtroom, I'm confident. I'm confident we are going to get a conviction. I'm confident. Her work is flawless and she is flawless, and they have got this down. She strolled in with 9 binders that are like, I would say 4 to 5 inches wide. Okay, 9. And I was like, damn. Oh, okay, so let me back up 1 second. So on Monday, I called the clerk, the court clerk, to say, just trying to get your process for getting discovery, because we obviously want to get the discovery after the trial's over to go through everything and really present this case, with everything, including the information that we've researched and gathered, but also what they will give to the general public. So I called, and this lovely lady answers the phone, and she says that no problem. You can go to any courthouse, and you can go in and sit down and you can view the case for free. And I'm like, yes, this is awesome, right? And I was like, how much would it just roughly set us back if we were going to print it? And she's like, it's 50 cents a page. What?
AKA, it makes more, sense for us working how we work together, and fun, in economical sense. Like, we're like, okay, I'll just see you up there next week, and we're going to be sitting at a big table.
Yeah.
In a courthouse for a day's reading.
Yeah. Because I was like, and she was so cute. And I was like, did you say 5 cents a page? And she said, she started giggling. And she's like, no, 50. And I was like, okay, well, we're going to remortgage the house for this one. But so when I saw Allison come in with 9 binders, I was trying to look at full binders, full, huge, full of evidence and things. I'm thinking, ooh, my first thought, ooh, I want to get my hands on that. And then my second thought was, I can't afford that. You better take good notes, sister, because that's a lot of paper. Oh, good God. Sorry about that, you guys.
Help Dash.
So 9 binders for the state's attorney. The defense, bless their little hearts, had 1. They had 1 binder. 1.
Coming in a close second.
I mean, if this is a baseball game, we winning. Yeah, I Missy, right? Yeah, it is a start.
I know. Didn't we joke about that? I was like, oh God, don't ask what it costs if we can get it on a jump drive. She was like, we are that.
We're going to sit at a table. We're going to get a tall table. Mm-hmm. And we're going to sit at it. we're going to take good notes like we do. So it was supposed to start at 9:30 with the sidebars, jury swearing in. It actually, opening statement began at 10:20, and the way that Allison presented it, a lot of sticks. Yeah, you betcha. The way that Allison came, and I'm going to say came out of the gate, was, this is a mother's worst nightmare. And she went on to explain the timeline and what Rachel was wearing when she was last seen, text responses and, backing and forth with text. Her phone activity. I'm going to go into all this, but I'm just kind of giving you a brief rundown. She showed the picture of Rachel from the gym, which I can find in just a minute. That was her initial missing picture, most recent picture. I'm trying to read ahead here. Okay. Pardon me. So the timeline goes a little bit like this. Between 6 and 6:30, Rachel was home cleaning her house with her daughters, and she decided to go for a walk/run on the Mon Pa Trail, which she did daily. It's not a big deal for her. She usually did it in the evenings when it was just a little bit cooler, but she would go daily to that trail. So it wasn't unusual for her to be there. Go for a quick run, come back. She didn't live far, all the things. She left her home between 6 and 6:30. She had 2 stops that she made. And one was Target, one was Wawa. She arrived at the trail, was seen either 6:58, 6:59, somewhere in there. And then Allison, state's attorney, showed a map of the trail and how far off the trail Rachel was.
And there are some interesting pieces of that when she goes over this.
We can go over that now. What do you want to talk about there?
Thing like, I don't know. It feels like a long time since we've discussed that, the quote unquote timeline when it came to that day. You know what I mean? Like, we did it in the beginning.
Yeah.
But so many things that even people in the chat were around for were, considerations that we were trying, to piece everything together. And it's interesting, what we've learned, and then to understand, we all, sometimes feel like we kind of had it right in a way. Do you know what I mean? But we're learning even more. And it's...
Yes.
Yeah.
And I do think we had it right. Our intel was great. Also being there and viewing, seeing, that's a big difference. It's different. Let me state this. Sitting in that courtroom today was very surreal. It was difficult at times, and difficult meaning emotional, sad, heart-wrenching. Other times it would make you angry, where you wanted to punch air. Let's see. Just, all the things you would expect. Do you want to talk about...
sorry, what did we... Do you see Will's comment about the 704? So you just...
Yeah. Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, okay.
That is correct. So what initially happened is Rachel went on the run, and she was brutally attacked, raped, and murdered. Brutally attacked.
Yeah.
Something I'm not looking forward to on Monday is, I think there's going to be some showings of that. I don't know if it's Monday or Tuesday, but it's just not, that's not what I'm interested in seeing. It's actually the least interesting thing to me.
Kind of have to keep your eyes down, kind of stay in the room, hopefully keep your eyes down. And
I think, I'm going to try and focus perhaps on the jury or anything other than that. And I'm a asshole with a microphone on YouTube. I'm nervous. Imagine what the family must feel like, how their nerves are. Let's just have some empathy there, because that can't be that can't be easy as an understatement. And I don't know. I'm not looking forward to that time. So in Allison's opening, she just went through the timeline. And I'm kind of going through this because each person is called according to the time, like she's, yes, according to the timeline. Yes. So
the witnesses are right. The chronicle.
Yeah, they're bringing them up according to how everyone throughout the evening. Okay. So at 6:30, Rachel leaves her home in Bel Air, goes to Target and Wawa, and then arrives at the trail. In the meantime, she's texting with her daughters. She's texting with her boyfriend. Everything's fine. And then all of a sudden it stops. Communication stops. Thank you for coming in. We appreciate you, Princess Lena. Enjoy your work and get out of there. What was I saying? So she stops. Okay, so she arrives at the trail. All communications stops at 7:04. 7:04 is the last correspondence that she has with someone. Found with Rachel are her earpods one of them was underneath of her. Her phone was found smashed and at the farthest end of the tunnel, and her watch was found off the trail. Her watch captured her texting activity, her usage of phone, and her heart rate. Both the messages, usage of phone, AirPods, and heart rate were all captured on her phone. Now, here's what's cool. We're going to have little moments like this where I'm going to say, here, this is cool. In my opinion, these are the things that when we work in true crime, I find fascinating, and I respect and love the fact that this can be done. The police, sheriff's office found her phone, collected it, put it back together, rebuilt it, and got all of that information off the phone. I thought that was super cool. Because, you think you can destroy the phones, It was in water, it was smashed, and the Maryland State Crime Lab was able to put her phone back together and get the information off of it.
I think you literally kept using the term, like, they literally rebuilt her phone, essentially.
They did. That's the word that they said. They rebuilt her phone. Okay. So when I say that Rachel was it was a brutal attack. There was 150 feet of blood spatter, a trail, from where she was on the trail to her final resting spot. It was an incredible amount of blood. It was on leaves and rocks and the trail and just everywhere.
May I ask you a quick question?
Mm-hmm.
So I know we filmed out, or you did, when we were on video and stuff, and then we shared information on our lives earlier. Did you notice any of that stuff when you were out on the trail or in those early days?
I did. I did. There was a specific rock actually that I noticed and took a picture of. And I do have a picture of that rock. I will not show that rock until later times. And I have to think about if that's even appropriate to show. I gotta,
no, definitely be mindful. Like, of course, we need to be mindful of that. But I don't know if maybe Delana, some people may remember.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Early on, we did see that remnants of things, and
I was like, dig it up. And she was like, I was like, get a wagon. And she was, what?
Oh God, it's so embedded in the ground.
But we weren't wrong, is what we realized.
No, we weren't wrong. And the other side of the coin is they have the rock that was used to harm her. It was several, apparently. Rachel, God, this is really difficult. So I'm going to try and know that I'm doing this with respect, and I'm not doing it for any other reason. I'm informing you of what I found out today, and this is how we're going to do it. Okay. We say the words, we do the things. You know, if these criminals want to kill people and rape women, then we're going to use the words. And if YouTube doesn't want to pay us for it, okay, all right, cool. But Rachel was, her time of death was between 7:04 and 7:10. We do have DNA. Swabs of DNA were taken off the wall and rocks. Mm-hmm. There were 15 to 20 head wounds and blunt force trauma. There was internal injuries. There was a
the bruising.
Yeah, well, yeah, she had bruising all over her body. I mean, all over her body. But one of the things I had thought of, but we didn't really have confirmation on, was that Rachel was strangled.
That's what killed me.
And her cause of death was blunt force trauma to the head and strangulation.
And when Tia said wall, just so everyone understands, she meant like that. What, splatter or spatter?
Spatter.
Spatter.
No L.
The spatter, when she meant the interior wall of the culvert, of the drainage tunnel that they were in.
Yeah. I can actually pull a picture of the tunnel if I can find it.
Oh, internet, don't fail me now.
Okay, hang on. That is the wrong one. I have like 8,000 pictures. Where? Hang on. I just got to go through it.
While you're doing that. So, yeah. So, from what I understand, Tia was great. We were able to keep in touch throughout the day, legally and appropriately. It appears that it's okay to mention. Can I mention the deer trail thing? Like,
yeah.
Okay, so while Tia's looking that up, what they realized, and I do believe it was the young man who spotted Rachel. It's interesting that they it's like the main trail that we've seen Tia walk on, correct? And then it was a quote unquote deer trail almost that he just kind of walked down and noticed like that trail. I know I didn't realize it. I don't think Tia did. We knew that there would be, because of the assumed brutality, the evidence, would be obvious, but I would have never imagined, like, they literally it sounds like it's kind of like you almost noticed a trail as you walk down this little side, quote unquote, deer trail that leads down towards the tunnel. You gradually see the blood, and it becomes like it's hurt. Like, it's so sad. It is.
I'll show you a picture of what the tunnel looks like.
And y'all know that a ton of, T has certainly been there extensively and walked in the tunnel, down to the tunnel, around there, driven, done everything. And it's, in a way, it's kind of, I still go, gosh, it's so surprising that they may have missed this when everyone was searching. But when you think about it, that late hour, and again, not a path that was necessarily well known to even go down to the culverts. Like,
No, well, even the police didn't know about the tunnels.
It was obvious.
This is what it looks like. And I'm going to take that down now, if that's okay with everyone.
And that's like the sides of the wall, like interior is just in terms of the wall.
Huge. It's just absolutely huge. I mean, I have other pictures. Hold on, I'm trying to.
Hey, Risk. Hey, Sunday Doodles.
Risk.
Hey to everyone.
Hold on a second. Let me see.
I'm trying to get the links first. Sorry, y'all. I had to restart my laptop, like my Wi-Fi, the laptop, the iPad.
Yes, you can, Delina.
Worked like a pro today, and then
it was. By the way, I just want to make sure. It was Harford County that rebuilt her phone. And I want to make sure that we give credit to the right people.
Yes.
And Harford County Sheriff is the one that rebuilt her phone. I believe if I saw everything, all the messages, I just want to, this is a note to LFT and those of you around in the olden days, that you celebrate. Seeing that logo again was like, whoa. So the text message and everything, we're all done. Let's celebrate.
And hello, Watts Days.
I know.
Gosh. And I'm getting.
I had a little nostalgia moment there, and I was like, okay. All right, so let's get into it here. Rachel was found on the left side of the tunnel. She was strangled. She was raped. She had bleeding and injury to her brain, according to the neopathologist. Thanks, Delina. They took swabs, and here's where we're going to get into some things here. They took swabs from the interior of her neck and internally. We're just going to leave. Hey, Wolfie. And that was sent to the Maryland State Police Forensic Lab. Over 1,000 tips were given to the Harford County Sheriff's Office. 1,000 tips. Which all because of the DNA that they were able to collect, and the investigation that they did, we were able to. Do we know if he was stalking or lying in wait? Yes, he was. He was there waiting for someone. Honestly, I mean, Chico, these are so weirdly off the trail that unless you knew, they're so hidden. It's so bizarre. I have pictures from all 4 seasons, and do not go in any tunnel in Memphis. But claims to never have been in Maryland. Right. Okay. So interior neck, internal, got his DNA, and excluded several people. Then the video came from LA where we saw him leave the home where he was attacking a 9-year-old girl and her mother. And that came about. Then we go back and she takes us on a fun little ride to December 2022, when he arrives in the U.S. for the fourth time. The other 3 got kicked out. And he calls an aunt who lives in Temple Hills, Maryland. And the aunt says, "Sure, come stay with me, strange person from El Salvador, who I don't know you, but sure, come live with me." So he goes and lives with his aunt, his cousin, Jose, and Jose's sister, Tanya. Tanya lives in Alexandria, Virginia. While living in that house, Victor did work with Tanya's husband in Alexandria. So we know that he was in Maryland and he was in Alexandria, Virginia area. He stayed in Virginia as well. Oh, and when the police narrowed everything down, we're going to talk about how they did that too, to find Victor, that's really LFT's. Was his family in court? What family? What family? No. So when they get to this aunt's house to investigate for what they think might be their person, they have pictures of Victor and Tanya. They have videos of Victor. They have his Facebook profile and his telephone number. And then prior to that, one day when he was just staying with the aunt, he just left without warning. He left his clothes, his shoes, whatever, and just left that stuff there. So that stuff that was left was compared to the DNA that they had from Rachel, from the swabs from Rachel. And obviously we know what happened there. They matched. They were consistent with like the way that Allison put it, was like, the word quintillion was used. Trillion. Billion. Like, these are the numbers that she's going to throw out later on when we're going to talk about DNA. So the arrest warrant was done. They checked to see if his Facebook was active. And guess what? It was. He still had the same phone number. So God bless the police or the sheriff's office. They pinged his phone and it showed up in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And the beautiful Officer Delmont was there to arrest him. When he was arrested, he said his name was Juan Carlos. And the best thing about one of the best things about the body cam video is Officer Delmont going, "Nah, it's you." She holds a picture up. I really like her. She's a badass.
Is that the one who was smile again, asked him to smile again or something too?
Yeah, because she wanted to see his teeth.
Yeah. And
show me your teeth. He smiles. She goes, "Yeah, it's you."
And he's like, "No." And they're like, "Yeah." And now we learned today it was even more like, yeah, it is. And we know because.
Yeah, it is him. And we know. He had given his phone to security in the bar. And once he admitted that it was him, he gave them the password and they were able to get into his phone. In his phone was
really smart, guys.
A dictionary, words Belle, Air, Rachel, Maureen with a G, not Maureen, YouTube videos and pictures of Rachel, and screenshots of articles were on his phone. Oh, hold on. I'm trying to read.
Oh, no, you're fine. Sorry. I was trying to get the link for
what?
For Delana, the membership link.
Oh.
I got it.
So he was interviewed with an attorney in Tulsa. they took his DNA and found out, well, yeah, that's our guy. Yeah, yep, that's him. He did live and work in Bel Air for some time in the summer of 23. I'm trying to see.
Hold on, I'm looking at our notes too. Let me see what else she told me.
Directly compared to crime. Oh, his DNA oral swab was directly compared to the crime scene. Anterior neck. Okay, so it was her anterior neck, her chest, and I can't read my handwriting on the last one. And he could not be eliminated with what they got internally. He could not be eliminated.
But all those 1,000 tips that they had received and been going through to this point, none of those
were all eliminated.
They were all eliminated.
So then Mr. Sawyer Hicks goes up there for the defense. And let me just tell you that I have 1, 2, 3, 4 pages of notes for opening statements for the state. I have a half a page for the defense. Now, here's where it gets interesting. And I'm totally being sarcastic with that. Sawyer Hicks comes up, and I didn't go into a lot of I went into detail in some things, but know that Allison timelined this to a T, minutes, everything. And we're going to go through, and like I said, we have all this. We can, once the trial's finished, we will post our timeline, and you'll see how we collected information over the last year and a half. Sawyer Hicks opens up and I just can't with this guy. Speaks to the process of fair and impartial. He's talking to the jury and he's telling them the process. They have to be fair. They have to be impartial. Most know something about this, and there has been media coverage. There's talks of presumed innocent, but they have to have proof without a reasonable doubt. Consider what you don't hear, he said. I'd like to know if there were any things found on his phone connecting to other cases. We wouldn't know because those cases wouldn't be brought in from Rachel's trial. You know what I mean? Unfortunately. So we probably wouldn't know that. I mean, you have to understand that they're focusing solely on convicting him for Rachel. Now, does it matter for the other victims? It sure shit does. Absolutely does. But unfortunately, we can't count convictions or past things that he did in other countries or other states. Does it show a pattern? Do we know there's a pattern? Yes. Does the jury? No. I don't know what they know. So he says, consider what you don't hear. Where are the gaps? The questions, the burden of proof. The state has the burden of proof. The witnesses will all have mention of DNA. Then he turns around and he claims, almost theatrically, that Victor Antonio Martinez Hernandez is innocent, and that that I have to be very delicate here. That some of the DNA could have been from her boyfriend. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. Richard had nothing to do with anything according to what happened with Rachel. Nothing. He's been cleared from day one. Can I confirm any of this? What does it say? I heard he has a child in Maryland. He has family in Bel Air. He does not have family in Bel Air, and he does have a child.
We're talking about Victor, correct?
Yeah. Victor does have a child, yes, and he does not have family in Bel Air.
That was shocking to see when we came across that.
Yeah. Yeah. Chico, right? He's innocent. He's never been to Maryland. He's never been anywhere other than Tulsa. I don't even know you. Yet your DNA was found in Los Angeles and in Maryland.
Am I the only one that at this moment just having all the faith in the world at the moment and knowing that people are prepared? Am I the only one that's going like, I can just see the defense at the end being like, the argument's going to be like the state didn't.
Here's what I hear every time the defense says something, and when they're finished, I hear wah wah.
I mean, that they're just going to get up at the end and be like, they don't feel the state has proven their case, and I'm like, all right, you do that.
Well, so they had 3 things they wanted to leave everyone with. 1, where's the motive for Victor doing this? Where is the motive? And it's a crime of passion. It couldn't be a stranger. She was left. Kate, hi. I'm so happy to see you. She was left in such a state that it was to humiliate her. This is not something that a stranger does. All right, start over. So they claim it was a crime of passion. Number 2, what's the connection? You're welcome, GH. Thanks for coming in and talking to us. Ask questions all you like. You guys are here. If I can answer, I will. If I can't, I won't. Bottom line. What's the connection to Victor and Rachel? Did they have one? No. He is a sick freak. He's absolutely a sick freak. And where was, I hate this third one because this, we talk about things that there's some things that we talked about today that I just feel I know they're part of the case, but it's a dignity and respect thing for me. But Richard's DNA could have been on her as they were intimate that morning. But you know what wasn't found on her? Richard's DNA. Do you know what was found on her? Victor Antonio Martinez Hernandez DNA. That was found. It was an opportunist move, yes. He was lying in wait. He was going to do this to someone.
Yeah. And I feel like that's what we thought from the beginning. Like, I do think he picked the area, but I don't think he had a particular target. I think he picked the area and was waiting for an opportunity.
No, not yet, Riss. They did not fence the tunnels.
Or that's that it was like him looking for that opportunity, not a particular individual. It wasn't like, at least I don't know. Tia will fill us in the next week if anything changes, but I never got the impression, just even based on even, back, a year ago when experts and everyone were analyzing this, it just didn't appear like it was someone particularly looking for a specific individual and like had been, following or harassing or, anything. This looked like she was a victim of an opportunity for him. But he wanted that opportunity, but he didn't know which individual he was going to jump on, in my opinion.
I mean, looking at his Facebook, it was gross. So then Sawyer Hicks goes back to the cell phone data was used in the area, but no one knew or saw him. Questions on DNA. And then he goes back to the process of explaining the process to the jurors. Not a great opening statement, not a wow moment. You didn't capture me with your evidence or your theories of what could happen. Yeah, well, I mean, he lived in the area. He lived in the area. So then we had a little break, and Rachel's number 2 daughter was on the stand.
She's a minor.
Yeah, I won't. Her name might be out there in articles. We do not use that is where I cross the line. We will not use minors' names in our podcast. What I will tell you, in my personal opinion, which means everything because, it's our little podcast here, is that girl is a freaking phenom.
Mm-hmm.
And what she did today, she has been waiting to do since this happened to her mom. She's been waiting to have, you're welcome, Chico. It was heartbreaking. It was heart-wrenching. It was hard. It was emotional. It made me angry. And I wanted very, very much to just, to grab her and hug her. And there was family there to do that. And it was good. And I was glad. But, as a stranger, you're like, oh my God, you just want to protect, you want to help. But she was amazingly strong. She walked in with her head held high. She was beautiful. It was the first time I've actually laid eyes on her. I had seen a picture or two, but this was my first time actually physically seeing her. She is going to be one hell of a woman. And right now she's one hell of a young lady. She's very, very smart. She's incredibly well-spoken. She's thought out. She knows exactly what she knows what she knows, and she says what she knows. At the time, she was 13. I will tell you that her birthday is on Wednesday, where she will be 15 years old. She's currently 14. She was 13 at the time of her mother's passing. Yeah, no, Chico, wasn't him. Wasn't him.
Like, that's not me. No, I didn't give that.
Like, do you hear the song, Shaggy song, Wasn't Me? Yeah, that's what they're trying to claim.
It wasn't me. No, it wasn't me who Googled that on my phone that I had, and I never disconnected from my Facebook account. And congratulations on law enforcement for even tracking that down. Like, you left all your stuff behind, and you stayed connected to modes of, connection. Like, he didn't disengage. Like, it could be.
Oh God, no. I mean, the dictionary on his phone with the words. Do we know anything about the murder of the woman in his home country? Was it in a similar fashion? From my understanding, yes. And he met her at a bar, left with her, and then I think it took 3 weeks for them to find her.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
So back to I'm going to call her number 2 daughter. That's what we're going to name her today. Her birthday is next Wednesday. If you would like to send a little something to her, you can do that through us. I will absolutely provide receipts being sent. Yeah, he's trying, but he's not real smart.
I can drop her free if that makes it easier.
Actually, I got it right here. I'll do our link tree. Let's see if BitchBot will work with us.
Oh, good luck.
If you want to drop us a little something to give to daughter number 2 on her birthday for us to send, oh, there you go. Feel free. We will provide receipts that we gave it to her. You don't have to do that, but it's a nice thing to do. This kid is spending her birthday week fighting for her mother. Her 15th birthday, she's going to be in court fighting for her mother. So, once again, there aren't enough adjectives to describe how much respect I have for a child.
And actually, before you go any further on that, I got a phone call from Tia after her second oldest had been on the stand, after Rachel's second oldest, or excuse me, second daughter two had been up on the stand. And it took it, like, I think we were both, unfortunately, me not being able to be there right now is devastating. But the way Tia conveyed it to me, by the end of that portion of our conversation, we were just like, I could kind of feel that smile on both of our faces, because in that face of such grave emotion, and you're so young, and you've been dealt a horrific blow, and it's a tremendous amount of pressure, and of course you're emotional. Y'all, she stayed on the stand, like, breaking down, and even asking if she needed a minute. Tia was like, no. That one was up there going, no, I'm keep going. Like, I'm not, no matter what she was facing, she was dedicated and determined in speaking her truth and speaking up on her mother's behalf. And I literally was just like, I know, like, I don't let her cry, let her do whatever she needed to do. She certainly deserves that. But the pride in knowing, like, to see someone that young and the way Tia conveyed it of up there on the and just breaking down, and then reading the article where Tia
Kate, I got that. Thank you so much.
Sorry. Never. Did you already say that? I'm sorry.
No. I was thanking Kate. Kate just sent something.
Oh, thank you, Kate. But Tia just was like, because I was like reading an article that was posted, shortly after lunch or something, and I was just like, oh my God. And it literally reads in the article, like, the daughter, like, she gets off the stand and can literally be heard in the hallway hysterically crying. And Tia was like,
well, there was a reason for that. There's a reason for that.
And I get that though now, but still with all, yes, but I'm so
not a good reason.
Not a good reason.
Don't make kids cry.
But she held her own.
Like, she sure shit did. She sure did. Yeah. And she made every person in that courtroom proud of her and proud for her. Yes. And let me tell you, and I'm going to say this, I've never met Rachel, but the class that these kids have shown and how kind-hearted they are. Thank you, Wheel. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Wheel.
Rachel must have been a hell of a mom. She must have been a hell of a mom, because all 5 of her kids are so well-mannered, so smart, so beautiful. Just, you don't need receipts? I'll post them. I got no problem. I will
say those are some resilient children.
They are. I thank God for that.
They could so easily, we all can become a puddle in the face of tragedy at times, which is normal, but they have their good days and their bad days, but I'll tell you, I've never heard anything out of any of those children. They keep moving forward every day, and they go through the ups and the downs. And to hear just about, I wish I could have, like, captured that moment when you and I talked at lunch of how, like, you were just conveying it, and both, like, I could hear it in both of us of just being like,
I was beaming.
Yeah.
I'm not a family member, so just imagine how her family members must have felt. How proud they were of her and her tenacity.
Mm-hmm. I think that's
so. We're going to get to that, though. So she's on the stand, and everything's going really well, and they're showing texts. She was texting with Rachel, and Exhibit 1 is text messages between Rachel and daughter number 2 for the evening. And sorry, I just got a little choked up there, because this is what started her being upset. They asked what time was the last message and what did it say? And daughter number 2's last message to her mother was, when was she going to be home?
Oh my gosh, my eyes kind of just watered. But in a very proud, like, I don't know. I think I'm feeling
the last text that was received. Ooh, sorry, I'm trying here.
No, I think I'm feeling too, like, what those moments that, because Tia and I had, like, we've debriefed, but I want her to be okay too, because that's a lot to come out of a courtroom, and there are a lot of external and emotional factors that come into play. So while she and I had spoken, the most important thing for me when it comes to her right now is that she's taking care of herself and just doing what she needs to. So we haven't, like, debriefed. We were both, I think, this afternoon, like, Tia did an amazing job of kind of going in there. I don't know if y'all saw a post, but there's a post on Decipher, and please, everyone, I am taking ownership, and I'm saying, please go like the post that is saying, FYI, we're going live, because I think that explains a lot of it. But I kind of understand now, because I think we were so focused on just like you got to change hats sometimes when you get this involved, quote unquote, involved, for lack of a better word, in something like this. It's hard to navigate at times that personal, emotional side versus the human, professional, like doing business kind of professional. We're reporting on this case. We're doing the research. And today in that courtroom, what Tia did, and what I think in my own way, maybe today at home too, like, we were both just going boom, boom, boom. All right, taking notes, like looking at this. Because you really do have to disassociate. But then when you come home and you have a moment to breathe, and then so for me to hear this stuff, because I knew she was so up, like, the children were certainly affected by today. And I know that because I heard it hours ago. But then to hear, like, what was your last message? I couldn't imagine her sitting up there. Like, it breaks my heart. Wow, turning into you and getting all weepy.
It was heartbreaking. So her last message was, when are you going to be home? And unfortunately, that was never answered. That was the message that set forth many, many things. Richard, at Rachel's, we'll call him boyfriend. I hate that term. I think that's silly. But yeah, they were dating. They had been dating, by the way. They had been talking and dating for since May. They met initially on the trail while exercising, and then they met again. I don't need to disclose all the information, somewhere else. And then they began to talk and decided they liked each other. And 5 days before Rachel was murdered, they made it official. He asked her to be his girlfriend. So he came over. Violet explained to him that, she couldn't find her mom. Yes, please, Chico.
I was typing always, Chico, of course. I didn't want to interrupt.
Hi, Aussie.
Hey, I have to tell you something.
Tell me.
My internet's working, it looks like.
Shush. Where's my pole? I gotta climb the pole now. Hold on. Let me get LFT on the pole here. There she is. Oh, what? You know what? I'm not logged in as Decipher.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, wait. I'm not a member of this channel.
I'm a member, y'all. Here we go. Swear to God, it worked so great today. And then
please don't. Short yourself, you're doing, you can do. Oh, especially without getting emotionally involved. It was thanks Chico for saying that. That's really sweet. I really appreciate it. It I knew I went in disassociating. I LFT and I talked about that this morning. Like, how are you going to handle this? What are you going to do? Because to be fair, like, I'm a sissy that cries. I do that. And I did not, I came close. My eyes watered, but I didn't cry. About the time I wanted to cry was about the time I got angry. So daughter number 2 still on the stand. She's going through her timeline of what happened during the evening, and, you know, going to the trail, looking with Richard for her mom several times, back and forth on the trail. He went to several different, hey, look at Aussie. Look at 25 months. Oh, yeah. Prayers. Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. They went to the trail. Let's see. So at around 11 p.m., Richard Tobin called the police. We heard the 911 call. You can hear daughter number 2 in the back conveying information to, hey, Wheel, thank you. How kind. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. If you got a Elizabeth Lander, let's see. Jenna was gifted. Yay. We love Jenna. This is awesome. Thank you so much, Wheel. Sorry, I got off track there. They called the police. We heard the 911 call. And you can hear daughter number 2 in the background conveying the information to Richard, who is then giving it to dispatch. What was she wearing? Car driven? What kind? You know, all the things. Now, what needs to be stated here is that Rachel's car was parked at the William Street entrance of the Ma and Pa Heritage Trail. Richard did find her car. His initial reaction is, God, I hope she's cheating on me, because this is so weird that she's not answering my calls or texts. So his first reaction was, dear God, please let her be cheating on me. So he went around to several bars, 5 different bars in the area, walked in, walked around, tried to find Rachel, could not find her. Her car was still at the trail and was locked and secured. Her purse and her, you know, important things were in there. Her protein shake that she got was in there. What?
Weren't there, like the receipts, some receipts and stuff were found in there too that helped.
The Target receipt was there. Yep. Daughter number 2 and a friend went around 3 a.m. to look for Rachel at the trail. Now, meanwhile, from 7 until 3 a.m., they are calling people. They're looking for Rachel. They're calling the police. They're filing missing person reports. All the things are happening. Around 3 a.m., Richard, a friend, and daughter number 2. Oh my gosh, sorry. And daughter number 2 are at the trail, actively walking the trail, looking for Rachel.
Yes.
Oh, thank you, love. That's so cool. Thank you. Thank you for being a member for the last 2 months. Appreciate that so very much. So very, very much. Thank you. And so they're at the trail at 3 a.m. and Richard Tobin gets a call, and it's the police. Could they meet with him to talk to him about, basically interrogate him? That's what I'm trying to say. I know. I know. Um, so at 3 a.m., the police pick them up on the trail and they go back to the sheriff's office for being interrogated. All three were interrogated. She never actually spoke with her mom. She called her, she texted. Like I said, the last text that was sent was asking when she would be home. This is when
Oh, thank you.
state had,
Thank you for
what?
I was just saying thank you real fast for the super sticker. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, Tia, look at our
What?
look at the little logo. What? We're a tower, if we remember.
What are you talking about? What?
Are you looking at the YouTube actual page? Our little like members, like the levels. We're all climbing a Wi-Fi tower.
Oh,
I'm sorry, I just noticed that. I apologize. That just made me
okay. So this is when the defense takes over with their questioning. The state finishes up. And the first question they have is daughter number 2 stated she woke around 11 o'clock. And then the defense is like, oh, well, you told the police that you woke up between 1 and 1:30, according to your interview. And the, lovely defense attorney is like, do you need a reminder? Do you need, oh, I just unplugged my computer. Did you want to see your interview so that you could remember what you told us? And of course, daughter number 2 in her classy way said, sure. So they take the earphones and the computer over to her. Hi, Rose. Oh, thank you for joining us. And please thank your friend who referred you over here. That's really sweet. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
So Violet said she woke between 1 and 1:30. She slept in. Who flipping cares, right? Well, they're trying to pick apart her credibility. So they show her the interview. And then the next question is, was your mom home when you woke up? And she was like, no. And they're like, do you need to watch the interview again? Oh my God. So she's like, yeah. So they continued to discredit her by making her watch the video of herself on the absolute worst day of her life. Let's relive that while we're having another really, really bad day. And she realizes that, they cleaned the house together before Rachel went to the trail, blah, blah, blah. It was BS. Just a little note. I wrote this in my stuff today. It's been 609 days. 609 days was the amount of days from Rachel's murder until justice. 609 days. So keep that in mind. It's a lot of days, but it's a drop in the bucket compared to, they were grasping. Oh, Jesus, you have no idea.
So wait,
hold on one second though, LFT. In grasping at straws though, let me say this, they devastated a child. I get that you're fighting for another man's life, but have the decorum or, I don't know.
Class and couth and tact.
No, the defense that you're not going to discredit this girl. So when LFT said that when she was dismissed, you could hear her crying in the hallway. That was incredibly hard. And one of her family members did go out and console her and was able to explain, don't let this shake you. This is their job. It doesn't have anything to do with you or what you said. You did everything right. You are still fighting for your mother. They have a job to do. And, daughter number 2 got that and understood it. I don't know how. I don't know how.
I just think that makes the way she maintained herself, even being emotional while on the stand, that much more impressive, because my interpretation, and you have to correct me if I'm wrong, it's almost like, I always say it, like tone and delivery, no matter what you do, is going to determine the size of the wave. Tone and delivery is going to determine how it's read, the impact of it, everything. And so my impression is that
the tone and the delivery were so sweet, though. I mean, the defense attorney was so sweet when they were saying this.
It's condescending, but then it sounds like it was kind of like condescending, but being like, but are you telling the truth, ma'am? And
it wasn't, are you telling the truth? It's, why can't you keep your story straight?
Okay.
I mean, it's only been a year and a half and the worst day of your life. And the trauma you must have gone through was horrific. But, you told us 11 and it was 1. Okay. That could be the thing that makes or breaks the case for Victor, though. That time.
He wishes.
Oh, I got words. I'm just not saying them. I'm just trying to behave. I'm really trying to behave. Not everybody likes cursey words. I love cursey words.
For the record, this is legitimately the first time, and Tia has always said this, which is I don't use gratifying in any kind of like ill-intentioned or rude form, like sense of the word, but we've never been able to follow a case from literally start to finish. And we are learning as we go through this. You all know that we will forever always be mindful when it comes to the victims, the family, what is going to potentially impact, justice, the judicial system, trials, etc. And so this is new for us, because now we understand that we are allowed to say more, but we are cognizant of how we do it and what we say. So we're trying to give y'all all the information that we can, but this is the first time that we've actually been in this position, Tia. This is
I was just a picture, and now remind me to show this picture at the end. I think it's very important. They didn't need to discredit someone that really isn't. I agree. And this is the grasping at straws. It also shows how deaf the defense is, because that did not help them at all. Well, and you're right. And what's interesting is the things that we're feeling in the audience watching. I don't have a poker face, so you already know what I'm thinking by the look on my face. Watching the jury was very interesting, because a lot of there's 10 men, 2 women. 10 men, 2 women. Watching some of the gentlemen, they shouldn't play poker either.
Hey, here's a random, I didn't ask you this today. Did you get that impression, like, we say it and we see it from a distance, but being in court, do you really get that sense that to convey to a jury, like, these people are really trying to tell a story and paint a picture? Like, is it with that, the quote unquote theatrics that comes into trials at times? It's an act that attorneys and prosecutors, defense attorneys, prosecutors, I think all have to have. Did you pick up on that at all? Was that kind of like, did you feel that in the courtroom? I literally didn't.
Rephrase the question.
Did it feel like, how an aspect of a trial is the theatrics of it, the storytelling, the present, like, you know what I mean? Like, they're trying to convey.
No, it's not. It's really, so if you take Murdoch and you have that grandeur and that the theatrical, this is not like that. Okay, they are.
I'm just curious. Sorry.
Well, the defense certainly isn't, and I don't think that it's in Allison's nature to be theatrical. She was just very fact driven. and delivered the facts, I thought, very well. But I don't get theatrics with her. I don't get like, oh, we're going to have an amazing closing argument where you're going to be on pins and needles and I can't. No. Mm-mm. This woman is going to lay it out. She is going to give you your evidence, your points, all the things.
She's going
and then she's going to drop the mic and walk away.
And boom. And that's why it's your worst nightmare.
Yeah.
But okay. Sorry, I didn't mean. Actually, I wrote that down, and the only reason I saw it is because I just X'd it out and wrote picture at end to remind you. But I had that question for you this afternoon, and I've never
asked. So after that, we had a little break, and daughter number 2 was excused. And she left. I think my impression, I don't know this for a fact, I think she wanted to stay and kind of eyeball what was going on, kind of be present. But I'm not sure that that's the place for her. And I think that's a parent's call. So, she is taken care of, and they, took her home. Next on the stand was boyfriend, Richard Tobin. Listen, let me tell you, I have liked Tobin since I saw him. The first time I saw him was at the trail, the flowers for Rachel, where they did the memorial walk for her. I saw him there, and he was just, there was something about him that I was like, I like him. I like him. He's out there. People are still, and by the way, at that point, that was only, I think, 2 weeks, 3 weeks somewhere from Rachel's death. He's still being accused of her death, and he's out and about in the community, showing support, showing, honoring Rachel and all the things. So I liked him from that point when I saw him at that. But having him on the stand was another ball of wax. And all of the witnesses kicked ass today. I'm going to say 2 in particular were my most favorite, daughter number 1 and daughter number 2, because of the chutzpah that they showed, the straight back, walked in, did their job. And then Richard would come in second for me. What he did on the stand, I don't know if a lot of people saw it. I did. And then I heard the aftermath in the hallway, and it pissed me off. But we're going to get to that. He's self-employed. He was a cook and manager at the Mann House, which is a rehabilitation center, maybe a half a mile from where the trail is. They had been together 5 months. 5 days prior, he asked to be his girlfriend. They woke at 11 that morning. They had breakfast and plans to hang out in the day. He went home to check on some guys, and this is important. May I ask who the kids are placed with? No, they're placed with their fathers. Oh yes, Tim Papa. Yeah, hell yeah. Please go and like his stuff. The kids are with their with their dads. So let's see. He went home to check on the guys around 12:30 to 1. When you're in recovery, apparently at the Mann House, there is no talking to women. You're supposed to be focused on your recovery. Now, Richard had been through the recovery program, was clean for 12 months, was a manager working and a cook and working there. So he was allowed to have a girlfriend. He had, done all the things, and he was in compliance. He didn't have any rules. He was, part of the administration team. So having a girlfriend like Rachel was okay. For people who are staying there for treatment, not so much. So 2 guys were seen talking to girls, and he contacted the guys when he got back, and he said, listen, were you talking to those girls? No, they weren't. Okay, well, they were. And they went to a pizza place not far. They walked up to the pizza place, and Richard called Rachel and said, hey, meet me at this pizza place. If you get there before I do, order a drink. Keep an eye on these guys. Let me know what happens. Hi, Elizabeth Lander. Welcome in. Unfortunately, Rachel didn't make it in time, and the guys walked out with 2 girls, and Richard caught them, and their fate was sealed then. At that time, Richard and Rachel went to, oh, Lord have mercy. I am going to, hold on. I just got a friend request.
Oh, I did not.
No, this one's gonna slay you.
Oh God. Okay.
It's from Ernie Shell.
Get off my phone.
There you go.
What?
I just got a friend request from Ernie Shell.
Hey, Ernie, I'm here too. I expect one in 3,
Good luck. Take her on, buddy. She's all yours.
2, 1. If he gets it, I'm gonna want it too. I'm kidding. Sorry, y'all. I'm trying. I've been up since yesterday.
So they went to the Abingdon Planet Fitness. They worked out for an hour. Around 4:30 or 5, he dropped Rachel off at home. He knows the time frame because at 5:30 at the man house they have chores to do, but they were still texting back and forth. While they were at the gym, they still made plans to hang out that night. They hung out every night. Let's just be real. So 4:30 or 5. So they were, I guess, when Rachel got home, she was cleaning the house with daughter number 2, got that done, and decided to go to the trail between 6 and 6:30. It had to be a little bit after 6, according to the receipts.
Sorry, I was looking. I thought you meant there's something else. I thought you mentioned to me today. Hold on.
She would go for a walk or a run on the trail. It didn't matter. It was her time. According to Richard, this was her piece. This is the thing she did on a daily basis to, I don't know, just, it was her time, he said. Her time and her piece. 7 p.m. was the last text that he got. And it was, what are you doing?
I'm pausing. Tomboy, I'm so sorry. I was about to ask you, and is it really your birthday? Because I meant to ask, and if so, happy birthday. Whose birthday? Is it Tomboy Charms for real birthday? Because it's showing up on my Facebook, and you've been so kind and supportive. And
oh my God, I didn't know that.
Okay. Well, we all wish you a very happy birthday, and the pieces you created.
We're going to show them as well.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Happy birthday, Tomboy Charm.
Yes, I've been meaning.
You sexy bitch.
Yeah. Hey, do you need Tia and I to make you like a gnome or send you something handmade? We can do. Oh my God.
No, she doesn't. No. What? We get from her. We don't give to her. She'd be insulted. She would be so insulted. Happy birthday, love.
Sorry for
that. Oh my God. Read my message from last night. Okay. Sure will.
I did not want us to. I wanted to verify and then say happy birthday. Because I was like, wait, I don't know. You know how some of us on Facebook, how we protect ourselves and don't always use to like.
Oh my God. She told me last night. And I didn't read it. I didn't read the message.
Not feel good last night, y'all. She went to bed. Like she was trying to get rest. Okay, so Tomboy, that's a legit thing. But just say, and then Actually, I should probably ask you. It's probably on my mind, being like, when Tia wakes up and messages me, I'm gonna be like, "Is it real? Wait, is this real?" But happy birthday for real. Oh, she's 29 again. Congrats.
She's beautiful. I love you, girl. Happiest birthdays to you. We're grateful that you're here. Um, gosh, I am so grateful. You know why. You're just amazing. So back to the timeline from Richard. She would communicate with everyone while on the trail. 7 p.m. was the last text. And the last text was, "What are you doing?" Exhibit 2 are text messages between Richard and Rachel. He knew something was off when he texted and didn't get answers. She wore her watch every day, and her calls were going to voicemail. They were going to voicemail, and then suddenly they started going to this weird beep sound. Not a normal anything, just a weird beep.
Like when it's and then when it hangs up on us and it goes beep, beep,
No,
beep.
no, no.
Oh, really? Okay.
No, different. He said it was unusual, heart-wrenching, and his feelings, it went to voicemail. Oh, he went to Rachel's house, no car. Daughter number 2 was home, and that was around 8:30. He spoke with daughter number 2, and he understood that she was at the trail. Here's the thing that kind of broke my heart too. I'm not gonna lie, I got a little misty here, but I got it under control. Rachel was afraid of the dark. So her being out past dark was something very unusual, and he knew that. Daughter number 2 knew that, and that was alarming.
And that goes, I said too, how sad her peace in the most, one of her like most peaceful places all of a sudden wasn't that for her anymore.
No. So Richard drove to the trail. He went back and forth on the trail several times throughout the night. And saw her car there. She always parks her car in the same spot. And when he saw her car, he absolutely panicked. He checked to see if the car was locked or unlocked, and there was nothing unusual going on. There was a protein shake there. And he's literally, at this point, my legend just got in from work and is listening and says, "Hello." Oh, legend. Thank you. I hope you had a great day at work, buddy. The man, the myth.
Legend. They're going for 2. Came in clutch.
So he started going around to different places, hoping to, I mean, you know, it's bad when your gut is telling you something's really wrong and you're hoping that someone's cheating on you because you know something's really wrong. That's a terrible way to look at a situation. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I hope she's cheating on me and not dead. You know, I mean, not that he was thinking that, but it might have been.
Cool.
So he went to the independent brewing company, Looney's, McGurk's, the Tower, to look for her, to no avail. He went back to the trail, checked her car. It was the same. Looked again, went back to her house, talked to daughter number 2, and then called the police. He used 911 to call. Exhibit number 3 is his 911 call. They filed a missing persons report. She went hiking around 6. The car's still at the entrance. Phone seems to be smashed or something. It went to no voicemail. They asked for the address. Can you trace? He kept asking on 911, can you trace the phone? Can you trace the phone? And the dispatcher said, I think so, but officers are going to know for sure. I can't answer that. But maybe, you know, maybe they can, you know, ping her phone to see where it is. And then something cool happened. Well, I don't know what you're going to think of this, but at 12:43, and mind you, I'm really weird about time, so I write I have the times that people were up on the stand and the times that they weren't, so that we can form a timeline of the trial as well. But at 12:43, Mr. Tobin, who gets all my respect for this, the way that you're positioned in the courtroom, we're facing the judge. The witnesses are facing the jury. So they're actually, we have their profile. Okay. So when he's speaking directly to the jury. Mr. Tobin takes his chair, turns it around. Now he is maybe 10 feet from Victor. Maybe.
I think so. That was what you implied. I mean, I think you were close to him, and so were the people on the stand.
Though Mr. Tobin was far closer than I was.
But yes. But, did you mention?
Hold on. Let me finish this. Hold on. So he takes his chair and he positions his body so he is square in front of Victor, and he stares at him. Yes, it was, Missy. Yes, it was. It's exactly where it was. He takes his chair and he's square, staring, dirty look, hairy eyeball at Victor in the face. I'm watching him, 12:43 p.m., staring at Victor. And meanwhile, the state asked the last question, and she said, what time was she physically last seen? He says between 6 and 6:30. And I'm watching him just stare. Okay. So then I'm going to finish this and then tell you what happened. So she was by herself. She had a green Dodge Journey. It was parked at the William Street. Her purse, AirPods, and water bottle, or AirPods case and watch. She had those all on her. She didn't leave a note. Recent photo was provided by him. Detective Carr took the missing person report and put out the bolo. Exhibit 6 is Rachel at the gym. After the police left, Richard, the friend, and daughter number 2 went back to the trail. That's when they called. The police called him, or the sheriff's office called him at 3 a.m. and asked them to meet up. They did on the other side of the trail. They were picked up around 5, went to the sheriff's headquarters. After he went to the car, he waited for daughter number 2 and her friend at Rachel's house. The second interview was at the same location. He received a Facebook message that they had found Rachel. And he said, is she alive? And the person said no. And they asked for what was his reaction. And he said, I freaked out. And they said, please clarify. And he said, I cried, I screamed, I freaked out. The police asked for his phone and his DNA. He gave it, no problem. They swabbed the inside of his mouth for his DNA. And he voluntarily gave up all this information. He wasn't asked. This is what makes me so insane of why the defense is even implying anything, because Richard Tobin voluntarily went in and said, take my damn phone. Here's my DNA. This is what we did. Bang, 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 all the things. And, still you're going to say the DNA, whatever. Whatever. He is a stand-up guy. So then we have at 12:56, we went to lunch, right? And Richard was on the stand. I happened to walk out right behind him in the hallway. And I'm going to tell you what he said. He said, and this pissed me off because I'm watching, I told you I was watching him stare at Victor. And I was like, God bless you. That's all I could think of is God bless you. God bless you. He said Victor smiled back at him. This is not a guy that feels any remorse for what he's done. He's on vacation. He's up there diddy-bopping around. Every time that there's a sidebar, he gets to go up and listen with his little earphones on and his interpreter speaking. I understand that he has the luxury of our judicial system. And he's over there just having a grand old time. Victor Antonio Martinez Hernandez does not have any remorse for what he's done to Rachel Morin. I confidently say that. Hey, Victor, sue me. So we go to lunch. I heard that and I was so angry. I know. Chico, let me tell you, the restraint that Mr. Tobin showed was pretty incredible. And I the moment for him, I hope was a good moment, because I think that he probably scared the shit out of Victor, to be fair. And I think that Mr. Tobin probably, I'm going to say it, I think he killed him about 50 or 60 times in that stare. If looks could kill, he did it. And we went to lunch. We took a break then. And like I said, I walked behind him. When he said that, I was like, oh my God.
And then when it's, I think that's a vast difference from how when the second oldest was on the stand, when daughter number 2 was on the stand, she remained stoic in her own way, in her determination,
Mm-hmm.
her focus. She made a point, right? She kept her focus, let the jury see her. Like she,
yeah.
So she did. Yeah, she kept her focus there, and then here you go next, and Tobin's like, "Look at me, look at me."
Mm-hmm. And Richard Tobin's not a small fellow. He's very physically fit. Yeah. I'm looking forward to JD getting a call, Wheel. I'm looking forward to JD getting a call. Like we would be having another trial for my ass. I'm sorry. And this is why I love Chico, honest to God, because I would be the same way. I mean, he would not look at, when we went to the hearing in January, he's clearly been instructed since then, but he looked around the gallery, looked at everything, everybody. I made eye contact with him. I know family members made eye contact with him. He always looks away first. I tried to make eye contact with him. He would not look in the audience area at all. Head down. He smiled and he diddy-bopped back to the desk, but he didn't look at anybody. I do not appreciate the smile, and I do not appreciate the diddy-bop back to the desk. You, sir, are a sick, twisted POS.
Did he engage with his attorneys or act like he was even participating in the proceedings?
He took copious amounts. No, he's not cuffed in court. He's in a tie and dress pants, and he is not cuffed in court. This is his time. Like I said, he has the luxury of our judicial system, and he's enjoying it. He is enjoying it.
He looked like, the pictures I saw, it kind of looked like, to me, he's lost a little bit of weight. So he's even like,
he has. Team Gypsy, he's a psycho. He knows he will be found guilty and wants to torture Rachel's. Oh, absolutely. No question. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. You're absolutely correct. 100%. 100%. And yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm just trying to be careful because there's a lot I want to. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sunday, yes. So we come back from lunch, and the crack defense team comes up and does cross with Richard. Again, we have 3-4 pages of Richard's testimony, and then we have a half a page. He stayed the night before 8:04. He stayed all night at Rachel's. Thinks he arrived around 8 p.m., woke up between 11 and 12. Returned to the man house around 12:30 or 1:30 to do his chores. There was some personal, and I have a note here, there's some personal things disclosed that has to do with DNA. We're not going to talk about that. When he got back, he was in the kitchen with the other manager. He texted Rachel. 2 guys were speaking to girls. The guys denied it, went to the pizza place. Richard decided to follow him, and, they caught him. He planned to meet Rachel at the gym. He picked her up from her home. They went to Planet Fitness. They worked out for about an hour together. They dropped her off around 4:30, between 4:30 and 5:30. And he had to be, like I said, back before 5:30 to do chores. He had to confront the guys that were with the women and deal with that. He was texting and lost communication. Went to Rachel. She wasn't there. Went to the trail, saw her car, scoured the bars. Detective called while I was in the trail for the first interview. And he, like, once again, and I'm repeating myself, and you're going to ask, why are you repeating yourself? This is so dumb. He thought she was cheating, hoping she was cheating, as he said. And at 2:45, he was finished. Why did I repeat myself so much? Well, that's the defense's tactic. The defense's tactic is to go through and ask these same questions that were just answered 5 minutes before. Oops. Oh, sure. Snaps. I just lost my monitor. There we go.
But we were working on fixing that cord problem. We'll have that.
Yeah, I know.
We'll have care of it.
So Celebrate was used. I did see that logo. And then daughter number 1 went up on the stand at 2:45. And her job with her mom was they cleaned homes. Rachel had her own home cleaning business, and sometimes daughter number 1 worked with her. They made plans to tan, but they didn't go. They texted for communication that was completely normal. Faye wasn't living at her mom's house at the time. She was living elsewhere. She asked if she wanted to go to dinner. And this is where daughter number 1 got a little, I would say, misty-eyed, but held her shit together. She's asked if she wanted to go to dinner, and daughter number 1 declined, and that was at 7 p.m., said she was tired. Exhibit 4, text with daughter number 1. At 7 p.m., her mom said, she said to her mom, sorry, it didn't work out. Her mom at 7:04, this is the last text sent on Rachel's phone, said, you're good. He just got home. I'm tired too. And she said no to dinner. No, I'm sorry. That was daughter number 1. Sorry, it didn't work out. She said, you're good. He just got home. I'm tired. So no, I don't want to go to dinner tonight. Rachel responded with, yeah, it's fine. I'm tired too. And that was the last response on her phone.
Sorry, I'm following along in our timeline, and okay, it's making sense.
Detective Carr came up. He was the man who took the missing persons report. I'm going to read my notes, and then I'm going to go back and we're going to talk about the fact that Wheel, thank you for sharing that. By the way, I love Loki. Loki's so cute. Oh, I have pictures to show you guys too.
All right. Oh, that's already. Wait, before you do that, I have a question.
What is your question?
Were any, when you were talking about Tobin and stuff and how freely and willingly he was giving up, like, take what you want, touch what you want?
Yeah.
Was it indicated at all that, were there any warrants issued throughout this investigation other than ones pertaining specifically to Victor, like, and or his quote unquote, like, family relatives for those kind of things? But when it came to other players, everyone was pretty open, right? Or did they?
Everyone was completely open.
Okay.
Everyone was completely cooperative.
Okay, that's what that's what I thought. I just didn't. I literally
voluntarily. They wanted to find their mom. They wanted to find their girlfriend. They wanted to find their sister, their friend. You're gonna take whatever the hell you want. Just find my mom. Find my girlfriend.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. I don't ever remember us, like, even going through we cannot view any documents, like Tia already explained, but just seeing entries and whatnot and going through our timeline and our research, it's crazy. It's not like a warrant issued for, to search. Okay, example like Oklahoma, like how they had those warrants to go search properties and like this one, it was so different. I don't recall any combative.
No, the warrants that they received for instance, searching homes and things like that, we don't have access to yet.
Right.
But did they do it properly? Yeah.
I mean, yes. Sorry, you're right. I should have maybe rephrased that. I'm assuming everything they did, it seems Hartford County and all investigative teams were making sure that they dot their I's and cross their T's.
Absolutely, they did. 100%.
I just remember.
And I think the trial, they're doing this for the trial as well, you're going to have the appeal. He's got a right to appeal. Should he be found guilty? Did you like that? That was impressive, wasn't it? Should he be found guilty? Bitch, please.
Well, we talked about that earlier because we're both born, of course. Like, I mean, I think all of us listening right now, obviously, yes. I hope you bring more than one binder and you make it worth the while, because I already can foresee what you're going to say, but it is what it is. But I just, it just seems like in this one that a lot of people were genuinely shocked when it came to the investigation. And granted, maybe some warrants and like search warrants for, say, accessing phone or whatnot for procedural purposes, CYAing and everything that was used, but you never saw something, even in the press conferences of, law enforcement today served this warrant, or like something, we're asking to search this property or something like that. That never happened when you think about it.
No. And I mean, what I want to say about the Hartford County Sheriff's Office they are hands down the best of the best. And I know that 10 months was a long time to find this guy, but they did find him. He is our man, and he is being prosecuted. He will have his quote unquote day. I don't honestly know who is on the stand after. Yeah, I won't. Well, let me state this. I know that Monday is crime scene, and I know Tuesday is the coroner. After that, I don't know the schedule. So I don't know who else will be called as witnesses. I'm not sure if her mom will be called or not. I don't believe that she will, nor do I believe the sister will either. But I don't know that for a fact. So I'm kind of talking out of my ass on that one.
All right, can I talk on that one then? A little bit?
Huh?
Can I talk out of mine too then on that
Sure.
one?
Mm-hmm.
No, I think particularly, again, I'd like to, I have no idea. I think Mom has said plenty in the past couple of months. She has been public. She has contributed from a congressional level all the way to the political campaign levels. Not knocking it. I'm simply stating it as a fact. I almost feel like don't put her on the stand because that opens a can of worms.
She was very stoic today.
I did hear that.
She was very attentive. Her lawyer was there with her. Her children were there with her. And she was, and I keep saying this, and I know I keep saying it, but I want to reiterate how much respect I have for those that are related to Rachel. And I cannot imagine hearing the things that I heard today if that were my daughter or my sister or even my mom. So we may have our feelings, we may have our thoughts, we may whatever, political, whatever. For me, on a human level, she sat there and listened to things that were done to her daughter that were atrocious. And she did it with class. And yeah, they sure did. They sure did. There was no cross-examination on daughter number one, thank goodness. Why? Because she was a baddie and she didn't need to be cross-examined because they couldn't touch anything she said. The Harford County Sheriff's Office is the best of the best. Yes, it did take 10 months, but they did get him. And I guarantee you, without a doubt, that those ladies and gentlemen have dotted I's, crossed T's, and done it 3 or 4 times. Our Sheriff Gaylor, took this case personally. This happened in his backyard, and he took this case personally. When I say it happened in his backyard, it literally happened in his backyard. He lives very close to the trail, and he was personally offended that something this horrific happened, not only in his backyard, but in his county. And he is fantastic. There is not enough adjectives that I can say about him. If you like Grady Judd, you'll like Jeffrey Gaylor. Just a no-nonsense guy who treated this family with the utmost respect. Okay. He's a good 2 thumbs up, sir, and way to go. So really quick, let me run down Deputy Carr. And
this was interesting.
So I'm gonna read my notes as I took them. Okay. So what I do when I take these notes is I'm basically writing down as much verbatim as I possibly can. So Deputy Carr gets up there at 2:55. What time did he finish? Because this should tell you something.
I think you told me. I think
4 o'clock.
Oh
nope, I lied. That's not right.
That's not okay, because I even have something starting it.
Because we have another witness.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what time we.
Oh, and that's something too that I think.
3:18 we started. So he must have finished around 3:18. So he started at 2:55 and was on the stand until 3:18. Everyone failed that girl. All the way from the judge. Oh, that's horrific. I hate that. So Deputy Garrett Carr, Harford County Sheriff's Office. He's been employed with the sheriff's, and mind you, I'm doing this for a reason. I want you to understand. Since 10/22, he got employed. Prior to that, he was a police officer, first class, for 4 years at the Baltimore County Police Department. He worked at the Northern Precinct. At the time of Rachel's murder, he was at the Southern Precinct, which is a geographic area that covers Edgewood, blah, 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 blah. You don't need to know that. His shift was 3:30 to 12. At 11 p.m., he was on patrol. At 11:03, he received about a report about a missing adult. She went for a walk at 6 p.m. He went to Rachel's home in Bel Air, found 2 kids, Richard Tobin, and a friend. Described Rachel as a white female, 5'2", 107, blonde hair, blue eyes, wearing gray sneakers, a black top, and a black bottom. The bolo went out. Her car description was a green 2018 Dodge Journey. They pinged her phone with a number, but it was not successful. And he entered her into NCIC with picture and information. The NCIC is manned by the FBI. He did a report. Richard Tobin gave him a photo. That's the exhibit number 6. And exhibit number 5 is the missing photo. He then gave the report to Sergeant Maddox at 3 a.m. He got the case, and that's who called. I don't know that. Someone called Richard Tobin. And then Detective Carr searched the trail, the woods along the side, and his shift ended. Additional units did patrol the footpath, and they did fly drones, but it was not successful. Her body was discovered, and Carr was finished. His role in Rachel's case was then done. Cross-examination.
Did they have questions?
Huh?
Did the defense have questions?
Oh, here we go. Here's my notes from that. When did you start working? 10/22. Were you trained to conduct an investigation in Harford County? He was trained in Baltimore County. It was a lateral move, transfer, and plus training. He was a first-class police officer in Baltimore County. 11:04, he was at the home of Rachel Morin. Describe Richard Tobin's demeanor. He was calm but concerned, stating her phone was not working. All the children were calm and concerned. 24-hour policy. Oh, they asked, is there a 24-hour policy for missing people? Do people have to be missing for 24 hours and he said, no, they do not have to be missing for 24 hours to put a bolo out. The bolo was
asking that though.
Hold on. The bolo was issued as soon as possible. No one saw her. They pinged the phone. Dispatch does it. They were asking, how's it done? Dispatch does it through her phone carrier, and dispatch could not connect to a network. They canvassed the neighborhoods for video off the trail. No video was recovered. Carr was on the scene on 8/6 between 8 and 9 on the trail. Not a lot of foot traffic, but there were people about. What was the weather like? Sunny. What time did you finish? 4 p.m. Redirect. No video that Detective Carr recovered. Correct. But other detectives were out canvassing. Yes. Were you familiar with the trail? Yes. Do you see a pattern there? What? They literally brought up his LinkedIn and were like reading it, like, so you worked at the. Didn't we answer all this? How long is his trial supposed to last? 12 days, but I don't know. Don't know. I guess they do now, Wheel. They do. Yes, it is until the 16th. If it lasts that long, who knows? I think our state's attorney is doing a kick-ass job, so maybe it won't even last that long. Maybe the jury, let me talk about the jury for a second. The jury is very engaged, taking notes, a couple of them leaning forward, very attentive. Clearly, they're taking this very seriously. I think they know that their role is the most important role, and I think that they are taking it as such. I have a lot of respect for them. What they have to do, in deciphering all of the evidence, the testimony, and all, it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot, but I have full confidence in the jury that they're going to do a great job.
I think you should give some of those percentages and stuff.
Oh, I actually have to pull them up.
You want me to tell them to you?
Do you have them? Yeah, sure.
Just we talked small towns and stuff. This was pretty interesting. So the jury collection pool, just so y'all know, it was like I believe it was approximately 184 jury pool. 184-ish people who were summoned for to be on a potential jury, and then gradually that got dwindled down to like 79, and then so on and so on. This was what was pretty interesting, and Tia's mentioned this to me, and then they mentioned it in the newspapers. 97% of the jury pool said they're aware of the case, and 12% of the prospective jurors indicated that they knew each other. But again, guys, remember, small town, but like, why things too, some people still have tons of questions, within the local area. Gets even more interesting. So 97% of the jury pool said that they were aware of the case. 12% of prospective jurors indicated that they actually knew each other. I believe that meant like one another, right, Tia? Was that on members of the jury, potential other jury members, and or family, like they had a connection to the family?
No, they knew each other.
Okay, knew each other. Just wanted to clarify. So they knew each other. 67% indicated, quote unquote, strong feelings about the allegations and charges. And approximately 40% said that they had strong feelings, quote unquote, about having to view graphic pictures, crime scene, the victim, and the injuries. And what's crazy to me when you think about that 184 people in a small town that has received, there are no ifs, ands, or buts about it, national, international attention, this case, that they are still able to panel a fair and impartial jury that is conducive to the rights of the defendant as well as the state's argument. And I just think, like, I don't know. I've had the pleasure of, like, Tia being here, coming to where I live, and I've had the pleasure of going to where she lives. And when I say, like, some of us understand small towns, and I don't know if all of us, I don't know necessarily that everyone does, but like those numbers were pretty impressive that for your local community. Does that make sense? Like in that kind of small space, even with these statistics that you were able to obtain, like a number of people, even though they're aware of it, clearly passed the bar for being deemed willing to, like, can be impartial, can listen to evidence, like be able to put everything you've heard aside, rule into evidence. I don't think those numbers are bad. I actually thought they were kind of very unique.
Well, I think it's interesting because one of the things that the defense attorneys are going for is you cannot get a fair and impartial trial in Harford County.
Yes, thank you.
And don't commit a crime in a small town.
Because
don't do it.
Yeah, don't, no, for real. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Because what's amazing, though, I think I do agree with the judge on this, and sometimes I think we're getting to that state in society and the way things work nowadays. Like sequestering the jury and all that stuff. Try it. This has been going on since the campaign started, since the election, prior to the election. Like, this is out there. There is no getting around it. But that's kind of impressive that within what we allocated, 3 days for jury selection, correct? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday?
Well, there was only 2, but yeah.
But that's what they had allocated, or potentially you anticipate you've got 184 people in a small community. You allocate 3 days to go through this jury, to question them, to go through everything. And that I need someone to get in my head right now and read the thoughts, to be able to voice this in a way that makes sense. There's just something very unique about it that I feel like this case brings in so many other kind of influences and aspects that I don't necessarily always think about. Do you know what, when it comes to
while we're at trial, I'm going to address this. I know that this is a very political case. And there's people who have very strong feelings politically about this case. And I hear you, I support you, and I understand you. We're not going to be addressing this for the trial. Now, after the trial, sure thing, cool. We'll deliver all that. In fact, we've got delegates to talk about, House bills to talk about, things happening. But that can all happen after the trial. So I know that the whole illegal immigrant thing is a hot topic right now politically, and people want to place Rachel in that category. I support that and understand it. But for the trial, we're going to focus on the trial. Afterwards, I'm down.
But that's what I mean. That's so impressive. That
exactly, Chico. Exactly. And I don't know if I thanked you, Chico, for your Cash App, but I wanted to thank Chico, Kate, and Wheel again for their donations. They're going to daughter number 2 for her birthday, so she can buy whatever she'd like. And I think that's so fun. I love this for her. Thank you very much for donating. I really am grateful. Do we want to talk about the final witness, or do you have other questions before?
No, I'm good. Keep going.
Are you sure?
Yeah, keep going.
Keep going. All right. So Evan is the person who is our final witness of the day. Evan is the person that discovered Rachel's body. And and I learned a lot. What was your question, LFT? Delena's catching me up. She said, did I ever answer your question? What was your question?
I don't even remember anymore. That was my bad. Keep going.
Are you sure? I'm not trying to.
Just go. No. I'm not saying just go in a bad way. I'm like, just keep going. We're good. Keep going. All good.
My political thoughts. We can't have shit like this happening. I agree. Listen, I agree. And we can get into all that. But I feel like the trial is enough. Wait. Delena's telling me to wait. GC, you're so cute.
Oh my God, send her a link because now I'm confused. But I wasn't trying to bring up something political with what I was saying.
I didn't about the other iPad. Oh, iPod. About the other iPod. Did you have a question on that? One was found underneath her.
the
I
AirPod.
don't. Yeah.
Did she? I know one was underneath her. Did
Uh-huh.
were there two found around her? Was one found discarded, or did they only recover one AirPod? Or earbuds or whatever, however you would like to refer to it.
Yeah, I don't know about the other one. I don't know if it was still in her ear. I don't know. If it was talked about, I must have missed it. I did catch that one was found underneath of her, but I don't have. I'm not sure.
Okay.
So while I would love to answer,
I'm just making a note to see if we can keep an eye out for, like, in case that comes up based on, like, her watch, where that was found, her watch and phone. And
Pepper.
I just didn't know if that would give kind of any indication of maybe, like, if, say, it was found closer, one, like, they come across a random AirPod or earbud closer to the trail. Just trying to.
Yeah, actually, Tomboy Charms, right? The crime scene might have more information on that. I don't have it written down, to be honest with you.
Okay, that's fine. And I know that you mentioned to me, and that was the first time, at least as far as I know, that we heard like one under.
That was the first time I heard that.
Yeah, that was the first time we'd heard it, and I just didn't know, because I know in opening statements it's an umbrella of a ton of information, but they also I feel like they try to give some specifics, like to hook you in to understand the magnitude of what has happened, and to illustrate that picture. So I just didn't know if it was.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally get that. No, unfortunately, I didn't get that information yet. So that might be me. I might be a bad court reporter.
No, I think probably, actually, I'm glad Delano remembered that one to remind me, because I was curious about it. Actually, I have a couple of things. Y'all, I'm writing on a napkin. And then, but I was just curious. I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss that in, because Tia did send me her notes. And
They're chicken scratch. No, Wheel. I'm going to explain this to you because there was a lot here that came out that I was like, okay, cool. I have a better understanding. By the way, Pepper, it is great to see you. Thank you for coming in. I am so thrilled to see you.
Pepper?
Yeah.
Hey, Pepper.
Aw, I'm your personal reporter, Tomboy Charm. Your personal reporter. So Evan discovered Rachel, and he's very descriptive. He was a good witness, and he was able to really give you a picture of what he had seen and the things going on there. So I got 1, 2, 3.5 pages of notes on him. Like I said, he was clear and concise in his reporting of how and what and all the things. So he began at 3:18 and we finished at 3:54. Did they? This is so terrible.
You said it was right or shortly before 3:14, right, or something, and then they were
3:18. I wanted to see if they did cross. I couldn't remember.
You called me I have it on so when Tia calls, not only do I have my notebook out, I have a blank Word document, and she's talking, and I'm just going boom, 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 boom. Then I get her notes. So I timed it when she calls me. And the last time I think you called me, because actually y'all got out of school kind of early today, like at 4:10.
We did. We got out at 4.
Yeah, I think you called me at 4:10 as you were walking out, because we walked to the car and stuff. Yeah. So and then before that we had spoken at, I'll tell y'all, because we don't keep secrets. Well, or I can't because the iPhone says I'm not opening. But it was like what, right before y'all went back for lunch?
Yeah, I think I talked to you up until a little before 2.
I think you went back, yeah, like because you had to be back in at 2:15. Like court was supposed to resume at 2:15. So yeah, y'all are only in there for like another hour and 30, like hour and 25, 30 minutes, hour and a half.
Oh, Chico. Oh, hell to the no. Nope. You'd be calling the fire marshal on my ass. It's arson. There's no reason for them to be alive. You have dogs to protect. Nope. Is the rest of the courthouse open? Someone mentioned last week it wouldn't be. I thought it was odd. No, the rest of the courthouse is open, and there's other cases being held and heard. This is definitely high profile, but there are other cases going on for sure. Lighter and hairspray, lighter and some chemical that will catch on fire.
Wrong ocean.
That's how I feel about it.
Wrong ocean.
Burn it down.
Wrong ocean. Wrong ocean.
Okay, so Evan started at 3:18. He works. We don't need to talk about that. That morning, he slept on a friend's couch. His friend's name is Alan, and he was sleeping on his couch. Cece, we know who Cece is, or just move. This is true. Yeah, no, Missy, right. Yeah. Cece, if you guys remember Johnny Blackhawk, Cece is Johnny's stepdaughter. Johnny has been on. He's a friend of ours. We had some interviews with him early on. There was some controversy with him. What we did is help Cece and Evan by raising funds with deets on the streets. We raised some funds to get trauma therapy for them. That was our promise and our goal, and it was fulfilled. And we delivered that around this time last year, I think. I'd have to look. But anyway, Alan is Cece's brother. So Alan would be Blackhawk's stepson as well. Evan was staying at Alan's. Cece messaged at 7:30 in the morning saying, sharing a Facebook post that was a search going on for the community. Oh, thanks, Missy. I mean, we're trying. I mean, isn't that what we're called to do, though? Shouldn't we be helping these people on the worst time of their life? Shouldn't we be kind and help them? I think so. Yeah, hell yeah. He doesn't have Facebook, but he received this message. Alan and Cece are siblings. He's known Cece for 8 or 9 years. Someone is missing. There's a community search. He went to Cece's house for breakfast and ate, and then they went to the William Street entrance of the trail. He parked actually at the brewery and not at the trail. The police were in the lot. There were buses. There were tents. There were people all around. Oops. Hold on. Made a note to further clarify, confirm. Okay. All right. Cool. Thank you. First went to Cece's, had breakfast, William Street entrance. Police were in the lot with buses and tents. He had not been at this entrance before. He'd been on the Monpaw Trail, but not actually this, not this section. Blackhawk met them at the entrance. They went under the yellow tape and began to search. I guess they got permission to do that. They followed the path down and kind of as they went down the path, they went on and off looking for something. They didn't know what they were looking for. But they went around looking for something. And Then they got down to the site. Blackhawk was on the trail speaking to a person on the trail, and Cece and Evan went off the trail on this quote unquote deer path that we talked about early on. And we have all kinds of video and photos, etc., of what that looks like. I even went down there with Blackhawk and took video at one point. I think there's a live we did on that. Cece and Evan went off the trail. They asked him what was the location like as far as, was it open? Was it closed? Da, 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 da. He said the right was Heavenly Waters. That's the name of the stream. Heavenly Waters is the actual name of the stream. And then a ton of thorn bushes. And as they walked, they found a rock covered with blood. Cece stood next to him and they took pictures of the rocks. Next to the rocks were the thorn bushes and 2 tunnels. He could only see half of the left tunnel. And I have a picture that actually shows that during that time. Exhibit 7 is a picture of the deer trail and half of the left tunnel with the right tunnel. He had Cece wait right where that rock is that we were talking about earlier that had blood on it that I was shown. Cece kind of stayed there. She I want to say she kind of started to go back. It's a weird area. It's kind of open there for a little bit. And then it gets very congested with trees and stuff. How can anyone?
I certainly hope a certain few people are listening because this clarifies a lot and don't do it again.
Right. So we had Cece wait, and as he saw the blood on the rocks, he as he said, he did a 360 check of his surroundings. That was his quote. Yes, he was. He was with the group with Evan. Yes, it was Blackhawk, Cece, and Evan. But Evan's down at the tunnels. Cece's like halfway between the tunnels and the trail, and Blackhawk's on the trail speaking to someone.
So they're all there.
But Evan's actually further down the path than everyone else.
Yes, and he and Cece were. This is the thing that impacted them, but he saw more than until law enforcement got there.
Hold on 1 second. Yeah. So he did a 360 check of his surroundings. And as he's looking around, he's noticing the blood on the thorn bushes. He's noticing blood on the rocks. And he's noticing spatter on trees, just around. So he decided, okay, he's got something here. And I think without hesitation, and I think without really thinking it through, he kind of walked forward and looked in the left tunnel first. And he found Rachel. When asked his reaction, he said he just froze. He just stared for 20 to 25 seconds, just kind of stared. He was standing in the water. She was about 20 feet ahead of him. He never went in the tunnel. When asked what he saw, he said he saw an unclothed human on her back. Initially, when he looked in, he thought it was a deer. And then he realized as he moved closer that it was human. His reaction was he froze. He couldn't look away, and he stared just in shock. When he finally realized what he was doing, he turned around, and what he said to Cece is, "It looks bad. There's no clothes." And he didn't see anything. And in less than a minute after saying, "This is bad, we found her," Cece was already on the phone with 911. What's the question? Wait, let me look. What was her question?
I said she was asking.
Do we know if it was random or targeted? Right now, seems random.
All I said was that I think he primed that area as if like that was his target area, but he did not target a specific person. He targeted an area for an opportunity.
Absolutely. Yes. It's crime of opportunity, not passion, bitch.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I don't. Oh, wait. I'm making a note to myself. That doesn't make sense with a big piece of the evidence.
So he heard her call on 911 and she stayed on the trail. Then he realizes he's backing out. He saw more blood on leaves and on the rocks, spatter leaves on white rocks. Harford County Sheriff's Office responded. The rock with the blood on it. So the police who were already there, remember, were able to just drive down, I guess, and go look. Evan waited on the trail. He never went in the tunnel. He didn't touch the body. He stayed to answer all questions. He was escorted back to the lot to a tent where they provided him water. And as he said, it was kind of for a free-for-all. There were civilians, officers, everyone moving around, and he was just kind of in shock there. Yes, that is true, Will. Absolutely true. We talked about that at the beginning. Yep. And they took him over to the Harford County Sheriff's Office for an interview. He was sent home after the interview. Then he did another interview where he brought his shoes that he wore. I guess he wore sandals that day. And they did testing on them. And eventually they were returned to him. So cross-examination. Where were you living? I stayed on Alan's couch. He was living in Rosedale. This is, again, we got half a page. Alan lived in Street, Maryland. Cece lived by the college. Known, but never been to that area of the trail. The word that he used, this will give you a lot of information right here. When asked how it was at the scene, he said it was brutal, not cool. It was brutal. It looked not cool. Could see from the outside of the tunnel. So just for a second, that speaks to the brutality. If he's 20 feet back and can see that Rachel was so brutally left, just horrible.
Made it clear while even at that distance what I think, or I thought from what you said, what he conveyed that like the day of on August 6th, when he's speaking to enforcement and saying what he saw, that's never changed. Like he stood back, but he could tell him he could see details that a lot of us are fortunate that we did not have to see, especially unexpectedly. Like you're kind of anticipating it, but like,
but are you?
Yeah, but he saw it, and his description was, from what I gathered, pretty like, yeah, he made it clear. And then I think what he conveyed when law enforcement went down there, it aligned. Like it wasn't like it was something exaggerated, or you know what I mean. He didn't put himself in a questionable position. He did not intentionally try to put himself in any kind of questionable position. They stumbled upon her. It's just eerie sometimes how some things work. And
so, what do you see? It's hard to respond. And then I return to Cece. Did you go back to the tunnel. He said he went back after about a month with Alan to show him, and he was met by an FBI agent. He said he was looking for a sense of clarity and closure. And I guess instead of a month, it was like a week to 2 weeks. He said he wasn't sure who went. Alan, Cece's brother. He got freaked out by the FBI agent and didn't want to cause any trouble, he said, so he left and never went back. He was done at 3:54, and court was adjourned until Monday. Questions? Cross? What do you got?
Okay, I have a couple.
Okay, hit me with that noob.
Okay, so let me get this straight. In the past, when we have talked about crimes of passion or that are personal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Strangulation is something that's considered very personal. Like you have, in a way,
You have to touch somebody,
right? You have to touch somebody. You have to be willing to suffer. Well, I don't know how long she was. Okay. Hold on. Let me I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. His strangulation was like he had to finish the deal, right? Like that's what.
Well, I don't know if that was finishing or if that was start. I don't know. I mean, that'll be left for the ME to deliver if that's a question. So did this guy's family not know he killed a woman in his? No, I don't think that they did. No. I know, me neither, Kate.
But that's so interesting that the defense, from what we gathered thus far, based on their opening statements and their cross questions, has indicated like this, like look at her broken watch and the phone and whatnot. This had to be personal. Like a stranger doesn't do this. Like this is someone trying to hide a secret connection to this person, to Rachel. Like, why else would her phone be destroyed? The watch, you know what I mean? And then I'm going, but okay, but hold your roll, sir, because if it's that personal and something that is considered very personal is something like strangulation in a crime of passion. We all know of cases like that. But let me get this straight. So if you swab a victim around their wrist, their neck, their ankles, whatever it is, Tobin's DNA still doesn't show up there, but that fool's does. And
well, that was, did she shower in the morning or did she shower at night? And they were like, I don't know. But she went to work out and she sweat at the workout and she did a million things, but that day was, at a million different places, running errands, etc. So I don't know where his DNA went, but I just know it wasn't on her.
Okay, so let me get this straight though. For Victor's DNA to still remain on her, say she had gone and done all that, showered, done this and that, and then leaves her in a mini pool. Like there's, like y'all saw it, Tia showed you the pictures. There's water, like in a little, like water within that tunnel. So she's wet too. So there's water around her when she's found. And the only prints that remain are DNA that matches to anyone is the person sitting at the defense table right now. And I'm okay. All right, just checking.
Yep.
Okay. So I just thought that negated their whole point. I'm glad we were able to clarify some of the Black Hawk, CC, and her boyfriend thing. And then I wrote, so we are correct. Just wanted to make sure that we had this right. So essentially at this point, from what we've heard in opening statements and questioning thus far, the state is being very, like you said, almost point by point, right? Being straightforward. And they're
going through a timeline.
And they're doing process, timeline, evidence.
Yep.
But the defense is pushing passion of crime and questioning
credibility of the other witnesses.
And okay. And then I wrote
I mean,
something.
it's any given thing. We're throwing a dart and seeing if it works. I don't really know. I don't know the strategy. You know how you watch a trial, you're like, oh, okay, so we're going to go balls to the walls on this, and we're going to come out swinging, and this is how this is going to go. You get that kind of, you get that vibe. You don't know if they're going to do that, or are they going to tell a story, or are they going to provide, timeline. You just don't know how it's going to roll out, right? And I don't feel like it's balls to the walls. I feel like we're telling a story through a timeline and providing the evidence to back it. So how did he know the tunnel was there? I don't know. I mean, he lived in the area. What are you doing?
Nothing.
Okay. He lived in the area. Delina. And to be fair, no, Kate, nope, I don't think so. Victor's physically fit, ish. I mean, he is. He's 24. He's physically fit, but he's a little dude. I mean, I can put him in the body bag. We can get him back to El Salvador so he can serve some uncomfortable time. In your opinion only, I feel like there was watching pattern. There were. There were people that saw a person there that had some. They'll just say this until the court comes out with it. There were rumored, quote unquote, rumored sightings.
Do you know what would be interesting on that note to see? Remember,
what are you doing over there? Because you're like making a lot of background noise.
I moved to where I had better service to right outside. I'm standing to the left on the porch here by the banister, holding my thing towards P's house.
The killing was so brutal because he was afraid someone would hear or see something, and he panicked and felt like he needed to do that to kill fast. I think that's a possibility. Kate, I also think that his MO is brutal, and I think that's just his thing. I think that he would have probably really, really hurt that little girl in LA had he not been caught.
I think in his actions of like the break, like smashing the phone and stuff, I think he tried to destroy any piece of evidence related to him as possible. And again, people are running on this trail, walking, pushing strollers, even like heading back home to go.
Absolutely.
Maybe they had dinner, and then it's like, all right, let's take the crew out for a walk, and then like it's dusk. It's not. I mean, it's all of us in our local communities going for a run on a summer afternoon, early evening on the Greenway, and I think that's what I think he literally, because you have to think how long he was down there with her.
Well, we don't know yet.
Well, I thought we had a better idea now.
We do, but we're not going to talk about that till we know more. How long after the attack did he leave Maryland for Oklahoma? Let me put it this way. He stayed for a long time. He was here in the community for a long time.
But, okay, can you clarify for me and then anyone else who may have the same question? He came because of the aunt, right? Went there first?
As far as I know, yes.
And then it was like he was there, and then he would go stay in Virginia, a hop, skip, and jump away with other family and did some work there. And then all of a sudden he's gone, and he leaves all this crap behind, or a large amount of his belongings, like clothes, everything. Like, bye. No, thank you. No.
Travel flight.
Yep.
He's a little guy.
He knew it. And I think, so now understanding, especially with what they recovered on his phone when they arrested him,
Mm-hmm.
and understanding. Like, I don't see crime like a crime of passion. I see a crime of opportunity. In my opinion,
Absolutely.
I see a crime of opportunity, and that person who committed it was willing or attempted to do everything he could to get rid of anything that would connect them. You know what I mean? Connect
Mm-hmm.
her to them. And the strangulation is almost actually that's one of the saddest parts, and one of the things that kind of hits me in the gut is that after everything she endured,
Yeah.
he had
Yeah.
to make sure she was gone, and he fucking strangled her. Excuse my
But we don't
French.
know how. Yeah. Okay. Yes, I agree with your statement. Yep. That's exactly right. And to be fair, I say to be fair a lot, but I'm not fair because I don't like Victor and I'm not fair to him at all. But knowing that she went there daily, he perhaps might have seen her if he was stalking in there for a couple of times and knew that she was, but I honestly think, in my opinion, my uneducated opinion, because I don't have this knowledge and I hope to gain it during the trial, but um maybe perhaps he saw Rachel at one point, but I don't think he was stalking her. I don't think he knew her. I think it was just
He stalked the.
happens.
He
I think it
stalked.
was happenstance. I think he found a place to commit a crime and was looking for a victim to suit that place, if you will.
I think
Um,
was unfortunately she was she just happened to be on that trail in a clearing where there was enough, like no one, there were people far enough ahead and behind her that something had happened. Say it'd been a minute earlier. Who knows if it? Who would have come upon? You know what I mean? Like you.
it was a very brutal attack on the
Yeah,
trail
it was
itself.
bad. It was much. It's worse. I have to admit that's worse than I kind of envisioned in my head.
Hmm. I will tell you that Monday, I think we discussed this already. I'm just not looking forward to that portion of it. And I am asking for prayers for the loved ones of Rachel that have to or choose to be there. They're going to be enduring some pretty rough, pretty rough stuff. So maybe some good thoughts and prayers for them. I
Well, for you as well, because while you're not a relative, you genuinely care and you're dedicated. And all I can say is,
I do care.
I
I
know
mean, I
it,
don't know.
and I want you to be there if you can, but do not feel like you have to lift your head up to look at something. You can hear it. We hear it all the time. We watch Dateline. I mean, we can even have it on in the background. We hear this stuff. Keep your head down.
I think here's the thing, and I'm going to tell you guys, like, I can look at crime scene photos. They do not offend me. I look at them all the time. Um, oh, thanks, Missy. That's really kind of you. Thank you very much. Um, family and friends are the most important. What was I saying? I just lost all train of thought there. I
About
started going,
the you were talking about.
oh, looking at crime scene photos. I mean, I have Menendez crime scene photos. We have, I mean, from every case we've ever worked on, we have crime scene photos.
We look at everything.
I don't have a hard time looking at that stuff because I disassociate and kind of put my research hat on and go, oh, that's what happens to the human body when you do something like that. Getting to know the loved ones of Rachel, hearing that the coroner said he's done 9,000 autopsies and this very well is in the top 3 of worst he's ever seen, maybe perhaps the worst, that's where I pause and go, okay, this may be above my pay grade. So, well, yeah, I mean, as good human beings, we always want to know why these kind of, yes, horrific criminals. No, it's true. It's like trying to understand or rationalize crazy. It really, really is. And that's hard. Not going to lie. I'm desensitized a lot on, and nothing really bothers me except kids. We don't do kids cases. That's why. Or something. Yeah, because you know what? Those are your heart cases. Rachel is our heart case. It's the one. My high school friend was an assistant on one of the Baltimore branch of the. Really? Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Oh wait, I was reading that comment. Oh gosh, that is really interesting. And I think the other thing that's really important, and
So welcome.
which is why I added that caveat at the beginning about, for the two of us on a, I guess, personal level, like we've gotten this, we've never had, in an odd way, the privilege of going through, like, starting a case beginning through trial, like literally as it happens. And it's, we are now learning to, like, I guess now I have a little bit more, I'm almost, to a degree, I have a little bit more of an understanding and respect for reporters and people that, and podcasters, like established, you know, that, I mean, that can go out there and do this every day, that are able to regurgitate all the details. You know, all right, here's what happened in court today. Y'all would never believe. And we're still trying to acclimate ourselves.
Well, I think there's certain cases too that cases, and I'm just going to use, for instance, someone who uses a gun on someone isn't necessarily a personal, hey, NorCal, welcome in, isn't necessarily a personal case. Putting your hands on someone and using your bare hands to hurt them or potentially kill them that's next level. That is next level. And then on top of it, being so touched that you just don't even feel bad about it. It is so personal. It is so personal. And then raping her and having that, there's so many personal things that he did. So she was killed and then dragged in the tunnel, or was she dragged alive and killed in the tunnel? Not 100% sure, but I think dragged alive and then killed in the tunnel is what I'm leaning towards. But on the outside of the tunnel was so much, we'll say, evidence. So there's no weapons other than physical, as far as we know, correct? There was a rock. He used a rock.
I think he used multiple rocks.
It was like I said, opportunity. NorCal, it is so good to see you. I'm so glad you popped in.
Oh, hey, NorCal.
Which means to me there's a psychological aspect behind it. I agree with that 100%, Chico. I really do. 100%. And he did this to a woman in El Salvador, and they didn't find her for almost a month. I don't know what
weeks, but yeah, that was bad.
It was like 3 weeks. Is that what it was?
I thought it was I thought it was just like in my head, like it was just a handful, like a week to 3 weeks ish, is, if I remember. Yeah. I should look back.
It was more than a week. It's 3 weeks or a month is what I heard.
But then, and I typed it just a moment ago in chat, I think that explains, like, how we realized like his departure from the LA home and just how not some
Nonchalant,
actually yeah nonchalant.
lucky.
Really, I felt like it was like, oh my god, my parents are home, you got to go. Just how he was, and I think like that's where I'm like, oh my god, like he's that diabolical war. He is eerily confident for some really shitty stuff.
Yeah.
And it just now things start to make a little bit more sense. And
Sadly.
I I think my if I had to pick one, there are a lot of things that are so important that came out today and that people did today that stand out. But I'll have a slightly selfish moment to say I'll be danged because that rock thing about did me in, and I just can't believe that like I unfortunately couldn't physically be there, but I'm sitting on camera with Tia, even like before we go live, like she's walking and we're doing stuff, and I'm going dig it up. I just like I go back to that, and it's almost like that bittersweet laughter to it. Do you know what I mean? Like just like, and I'm going. And Tia's like, "What?" I was like, "Go get a wagon," and she's like, "What?" She's like, "I didn't bring a shovel," and I was like, "Well, then we're going to get one." I was like, "Dig it up," but the damnedest thing is we weren't wrong, and I'm so glad we stuck with it. And I take a lot of pride in the amount that Tia's certainly put into this, and to walk alongside members of Rachel's family. And
I mean, we are talking people that, these are pretty courageous humans. The people that have been instrumental in solving Rachel's homicide. Um, there were people, and I'm not going to give a lot of details because that's just not necessary, but there were people canvassing, volunteering. These are her family members. Canvassing, volunteering, handing out flyers, just interviews to keep her name alive so that he would be caught, so he would be uncomfortable. They did all that. They kept talking about Rachel. And that's so important. How they did it with so much class, and they did it with integrity, conducted themselves in interviews. Fighting political battles isn't easy. And, that could be her give back, her way of healing herself. And I'm speaking of Patty Morin. When we talk about the political stuff, that could be her healing nature. This is her thing to help her heal and give, her voice out there. That's all that is, there's so many things that her family has done and continues to do. Like I said, there's House bills that are being worked on. There's laws. There's tons of things are going on in the political arena, and her family is to thank for that. I stand beside somebody that slept very little, cared a whole hell of a lot, and supported Rachel throughout her life. And I get to call that person a friend. And I'm so honored and so lucky that I got to make that friend. And I respect that person an enormous amount. I hope that they know that. There was a lot of family in court today, and a lot of siblings. And
someone asked me, I know that some of Rachel's siblings were there, but people from out of town, had they necessarily been able to make it back for the trial? Did you see anyone like?
I didn't, but I mean, out of town is in
like
United States or New Zealand.
like out of
a trip.
Way / I gotta take an international flight.
Yeah, no. Obviously, I think that they're keeping up through their other family members. If I had to guess, they're keeping everyone abreast of the situation.
Someone asked, I was like, actually, you know what? I meant to ask Tia that, and I did not. And don't forget, there's some picture that.
Oh yeah, that I wanted to show. I'm looking for it right this minute. Right. Oh, okay. So we'll show this one. This is. Oops. No, we won't. Share screen. Winder. Here's the courthouse today in the rain. As we walked up, this is what it looked like. Then this is the sheriff's office, which is directly across the street. Our friendly sheriff. There's the other side of the street. Love those guys. And then while this is all very important, let me show you what's really the most important thing. The most important thing was we had wanted everyone to wear, not everyone, we wanted people to wear pink and green to support the girls. And we found out at the last minute yesterday that in the courtroom, really can't do that because it shows favoritism to one. You can't show favoritism to one side or the other, whether you have it or not. You're not supposed to show it. Were there people there in pink and green? Yep. And I was happy to see them.
Can I comment on that? Because I wasn't there.
What? Yeah.
I didn't like that.
I understand it, though. I mean, we don't want
No.
Victor on a t-shirt. I might have to beat someone's ass down for that one. So
no. I understand. Like we even talked about this because we were like, you know what? God, we know better. Of course, like you can't do something that's going to provide bias or influence within a courtroom in an open trial setting. Like, duh. Okay, that makes sense. But are we kidding? To what happened today? Like, after, I encourage anyone, if you do not show up in the courtroom, obviously, wearing someone's face printed on a t-shirt, don't blatantly come in dressed in like green pants and a pink shirt. Please, definitely do not do anything like that.
There were people that did support, though. There were definitely people that wore pink. There were family members who wore pink.
Yeah.
Support. And there were family members who wore green. So they did do it. They did it a little modestly, if you will.
Modestly yet blatantly.
In some cases, yeah. Okay, so let me show you. So when I was going to court, I got the do not wear pink or green, so I was like, okay. So at like 9:00 last night, I'm in a panic trying to figure out what I was going to wear that was not pink or green because I had a pink sweater and I was like, I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to get anybody else in trouble. So I have to switch, which was fine. So I switched. But Sir Dash was decked out in his green today. It tends to be a common disclosure or discourse in court systems. Oh yeah, that makes sense. That the court should be colorblind. That does make sense, actually.
No, it definitely does. And we all like once we heard like, oh y'all like I admire what the prosecution was trying to do to support a minor and a young adult, still an adult, very much an adult, a mom herself now, but their mother, young people who their mother, and they are putting themselves in a position that hopefully none of us will ever have to experience. But like, so I totally understood that. But then like when, we capped it down and realized like, okay, obviously, of course, like you can't do that. But some people are petty. And that is just
it is what it is. So I decked my dogs out.
Oh my gosh.
Mr. D there is wearing his green, and
one of not love it as much as the other.
Billy did not enjoy this as much. See the ears down, but she was there to support anyways.
For the record, them on a table to take pictures of them.
They're little dogs. So they supported the girls in their own way today, and they wore pink and green today.
I had pink on and green.
Those dog pics are killing me. I know, poor Belle. Her ears are down. She was not
happy.
I'll show you another picture of her. Hold on one second. It's there.
She was like, "Am I choking you?" Like she was like, "This is like," this is too tight or something.
Oh, she's so dramatic. That's the funniest thing. Like she's, Belle is so dramatic. Billy.
Her like on a bed and then picking her up and then putting her up on the table.
But it's like her legs are broken. She can't move. I'm like literally physically trying to show. Oh, I see your pink hat and green shirt. That's awesome, Wheel. Thank you. Yeah, you would think that she was severely abused during this. She was not happy, but she did support, and I yelled at her. I was like, listen, lady. Listen, lady. Now, this little boy.
Oh, Dash was all about it. Like, he was like, click, 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 click. And then, here, let's put you on the table. Click, click, click. And then Belle was like, click, click. Yeah. Billy,
see, Belle. He was having himself a little, let's see. He was having himself a little party.
He's like, do I look good now? Wait, how my front feet look good, don't they?
He's like, Mommy.
He's like, look at my ears, sucker.
And this is her.
Belle's like, mm-mm.
It looks like I put the cone of shame on her. Girl, you're supporting. Come on.
She was going to the vet, y'all. Like, it was like, she's like, I'm not.
She is going to the vet. She's going next week. He is proud. He loves his sweaters. You did support. How many people? Put a 1 in chat if you supported the. Oh, I know you do, Delina. I know you do. I know. How many people supported the pink and green today? Put a 1 in chat if you supported pink and green.
1.
Did you support pink and green? Missy did. Yay. Thank you. I know Delina did. I know LFT did. Tomboy Charm did. Oh, Wheel did. Thank you, guys.
Oh, show Tomboy Charm's pictures. The ones she shared.
Oh, they're so good, you guys.
So she went out. Tomboy Charm was like, all right, I'm on it. And then
she literally was like, I said, we need pink and green. She goes, hang on. We're running to Walmart. Literally.
Like, hold my beer. all right, does this work? And I'm going, what did you just do in like 9.5 hours? That I cannot. I'm so impressed and so appreciative.
So these are mug rugs, and she just, hang on one second. She just went all out. I'm bigger than a coaster, but smaller than a placemat. I'm perfect size for snack time. She thought maybe they could put them in a shadow box. I'm going to show you the pictures, and then I'm going to tell you what she did because it's so incredibly thoughtful. Oh, you still have it on Sunday? That's so cool. Thank you. So these are the mug rugs that she has sewn together. If you look, one's got green, one's got pink, and then down in the corner here is orange for Rachel. Orange was Rachel's favorite color. Now, if you look up here at this green one, she also did a little pink on the green and a little green on the pink to show support of each sister for the other.
Aren't those awesome? And then it says handmade.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. I love those.
Missy, me too. Me too. And I've been down. I stood alone in the tunnel on the anniversary at the exact time. And I bawled my eyes out in that tunnel for Rachel. It is very, very, oh, and LFT is gone. Those were the second ones. You didn't like the first ones. These are gorgeous. And I think they're so cool what you've done. And I'm super thrilled and super excited to share them with the girls. Oopsie. I'm trying to get things off the screen. There we go. Come back, LFT. Come back. You just can't do it, Missy. It's tough. It's tough. There she is. I haven't been. When was the last time I was at the trail? I'd have to look at the picture because it's been a while.
You've done some drive-bys in the past handful of months, but actually out there walking it recently, and
It's
like
been a while, right? Yeah, I haven't.
But I do think we noticed, and I think I asked Tia, and we both kind of seen the same. I do think like on that trail, like pictures of her are up right now, and I'm sure like little, you know what I mean, like a flower or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think it's acknowledged throughout the community.
It is, and my understanding is eventually, if they haven't done it yet, it may have been done, and I don't know. But they were putting a bench in honor of Rachel there. It's somewhere. It's a beautiful place. My hope is that people will feel safe again, and the town will take it back, and Rachel will be honored there and thought of positively. Again, that was, as Richard said, that was her piece. That was her place. Oh, I agree. Jim, listen, buddy. I've been doing it. My birthday present is click, 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 click.
Mm-hmm.
And my new hobby is ranges. I love it. I'm obsessed, and I'm a damn good shot, and I freaking love it. I don't need no red dot.
And yet I couldn't get a foam sword a year and a half ago at 5 Below.
No, you couldn't get a foam sword because you would have acted like a noodle head.
You don't know that.
I'm confident in it. I'm confident in it. Yeah, click, click. Agent Badass.
The one thing that I've learned and that I've noticed even in Tia when she doesn't. Like,
It is Sunday. I agree with you. You're absolutely right. 100%.
but Tia, I don't think you notice it in yourself either, though. But like, remember right after this happened, and then it was like that trepidation of like going to the trail again,
Mhm.
doing all that, and then gradually, the more you did it, you honor. I feel like a lot of people honor Rachel too by taking their power back
Mhm.
and enjoying that trail that is populated and used by so many. You know what I mean? Like, it's family. It's, I don't know, small town America. Like, go on a walk. It's, I think it's so vital that people take their power back and like in the healthy way that they need to. But for everyone to take their power back and to honor that victim by like, you have, there has to be a point of acceptance, as hard as
Mhm.
that is. And but to go back, and I think too that we have to look at, not only did Rachel leave a legacy with her children and her loved ones,
Mhm.
her remaining loved ones, but like, she did something unknowingly and unfortunately that will impact people in that area forever. Like, the safety's improved. Like, there are things, there are positives that come out of this. And I
Mhm.
think in the years, like, say a year or two from now, it's like that trail again in August. Like, line it, with the flowers. Like, put orange or pink or
Mhm.
I I think that, like,
I think, and I agree with you. I think after the trial, and I've said this all along, my hope can then be healing for whoever needs it. You know,
yeah,
he just created he really did.
it did. It's that cheap
Um,
comment that we just is yeah, I agree with
mhm.
you, and then, yeah, that too. And I think that is, I
Tomboy
don't,
Charm just sent me this too. Look at these. Is this not the cutest thing ever? Look at the stuff that she makes.
oh my God, I would love to sit just in her studio with her one day and be like, what are we making today? She'd be like, I don't care. What do you want to make? Let's do what we got this
Oh,
piece.
she loves to just sit and chat and do the things in the studio. It's really fun. It's so cute. She's so talented. Um, oh, those are for us? Oh my God, they're so cute. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. What did Chico say? Because it was very.
He desecrated a special
Oh
place
yeah.
for this small town, but you're right. Turn this negative action into a positive ending. And that's something like, I'm, every day as I've gotten older and the things that we go through in life, I've come to accept, and I think Rachel is a great example of this. You got to find those silver linings and find a way to discover the honor and strength in those horrendous moments, because I never want that to be
That's what I was going to
the
say is
last.
I think after the trial is the time for potential healing.
I,
Um,
because we already stated it. It just, family, loved ones, the
yeah,
community. It's a new normal that
it
you.
is. You're right. You're right.
But I think that, and I think from what we've gathered and learned about Rachel, we would be doing a disservice by being like constantly frightened or worried all the time. I feel like she'd be someone that's like, that was scary as fart. We're gonna learn from it, and they're not gonna beat us. And I think with five young children,
Mm-hmm.
don't ever want her to be less than that. I don't want her to be just this victim on a trail. I want
Nope.
her to be
She's
someone,
much more than
yeah,
that.
that she suffered something that no one should have to,
I agree.
but that she's given, especially that local community, uh, a new sense of like pride, like a pride in coming together, a new sense of safety, like and enjoying it and being aware and teaching a lesson. And I don't I don't want the chaos to be what those kids are left with, or what they're, what the fathers are left with. I don't want it to constantly be a question. One day, like you said, you're right. When it's all said and done, it will forever be a horrific thing to have to endure. But I just feel like it's kind of like the uh was it Lake? Sorry, Lake the
Riley.
yes, like things like that where all of a sudden it's like just sectors of communities come together and you rally and you make something comes from the rubble, and it makes her exist. It makes what Rachel endured so much more important. And
Well, I think our goal has always been to make Rachel three-dimensional and not a victim.
Yeah,
Um,
fought like hell.
she sure did fight like hell, and he had to be walking funny for not very good reasons for a while. Thanks, Wheel. This is a huge compliment, by the way. He says, I'm thankful to have a real bona fide true crime stream tonight. And Missy, you do need to take back your power and do it after the trial. We gotta.
Yeah,
I agree.
but I know it's been a long day for her. I know it's been a long day for a lot of people. But as apprehensive, I think, as we all are to a degree, come for next week, I have no doubt that not only Tia, but family members, Rachel's loved ones, like, they're going to do it. We may have to walk out for moments, just because we are honoring our mental health so that we can be strong to go back in there and to continue. And I think that's just the most important thing, because I have all the confidence in the world. I'm not saying it'll be easy, but it's the least and the most we can do right now.
Agreed. I agree. Jim, I agree. All of the things that you have put up, I'm like, yes, 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 and yes.
And Tia mentioned it the other night too. There's already the cameras have been installed, and I think there's been an incident or nothing like a health matter or something. Like it was called, and like right with the ambulance and stuff, like things already.
It's been the cameras on the trail have been in use. I think the citizens feel safer, I hope. And, they are working apparently. And this world is crazy. It's so sad to think that even going to Target can be dangerous now. I agree, Delina, and that sucks. I will not be caught off guard. Oh, and I already talked to Delina about this. I was like, listen, how do you feel about, she was like, oh, yeah, got one myself.
Oh my God. The three of us, you, me, and Delana, we're about to cause some havoc in the best ways on these.
Yes, Missy.
I've learned. Don't just wait. I can't wait to see what the next year or two brings.
Stay tuned for some announcements. I got invited to do some things.
That's what
I'm not going to say anything yet because I haven't. I want to make sure that we're whatever, but stay tuned.
And also, all I ask is a personal request. Just, it doesn't show up for some reason. Not all the Decipher stuff, like our posts, when I refresh it. Like if we post a live and then we share it in the like set the live and then share it in the post, it never shows up for me. I don't know, I'll give you each $1. Just go to our post section and please click the thumbs up on the latest.
Oh, on YouTube?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we have a Facebook group. If you want to get in, we're going to start putting more information in there. We're going to do some members only streams to thank our members for sticking with us. And maybe do, as the trial goes on, maybe some behind the scenes, you get it first kind of thing. You can't get on X, so I'll be checking here on Facebook. Okay, that's great. And you can always message us. I'll put my email out there. Email. You can message us. You can join the Facebook group. We try to post in there. We haven't been great, but we're getting back to things. But please, like LFT said, if you wouldn't mind liking our streams, if you have any questions, leave comments, email. Why isn't
Just type it.
Dadgummit.
Thanks, Wheel. And then another good one, people who are on X and a local reporter who's been great and helpful for you, Kate Amara. I would say follow her.
She WBAL Kate Amara. She's amazing. Temu commercial. I don't order Temu. What the hell?
X link if you want to share that too.
You had what?
I think I sent Delana, so that I need to send them to Wheel too. I sent her Tim Papa's YouTube.
Yes.
Doug McGregor and Kate Amara's Twitter pages.
Okay, so let me explain. Doug McGregor is a geographic profiler and was instrumental in helping not only the family but law enforcement solve this. Really, really cool guy. Go follow him, Doug McGregor, Geoprofiler on X. Tim Papa, we dropped his link. He does very cool things for the BAU, does the films, and it just, like I said before, outside the box, totally instrumental in helping the family and solving the crime. Other podcasters we love, True Crime STS, Surviving the Survivor. Joel is fantastic. We always ask people to go over there if you want true crime done right. He is great. Duty Ron. I have a personal favorite with Police Off the Cuff. I think
Pretty Lies and Alibis.
Pretty Lies and Alibis. Always love her.
I'm sure we will see it on Dateline one day.
I'm sure we will. And you never know. We're going to be doing some, like I said, once this is, the books are closed on the court stuff, then we get to open up on some other things. So I'm going to get some milk and cookies when this is over. That sounds awesome. I want to take a moment and just thank LFT for supporting me these last few days. I was a nervous wreck going in today, and she was just really amazing at keeping me focused on the important things and not the unimportant things. So thank you personally and professionally.
Now you were pretty solid this morning. You were better than. We're like, oh, let's go. Can I park here? Am I going to get towed? No, we're good. Let's do it. And then she was like, hey, here's this, and this. And I was like, it's work. Like, just, we're in work mode. We have to kind of separate right now.
Yep.
This is just as any other, I guess our aspiration is to think like any other, like, mainstream reporter or podcaster. Like, we answer the questions, we go, we attend. we support
What I
from
can't
afar.
wait to do is put this in a real outline or timeline form, my notes from the trial. It's hard to look back, and I will show you my notes at some point, but it's hard to look back and read my handwriting as I'm trying to take notes because I write so poorly as it is and then add speed writing to it.
You write like it's calligraphy. Her handwriting is. We both had like our own kind of like I could spot her handwriting like it was a serial killer. She could spot mine.
I do.
Like,
Yeah. Oh, Tomboy Charm, I love you. You're just amazing. And thank you for taking such good care of us all the time. Wheel, my boss man friend, your notes are the best. They absolutely are, Wheel. They are the best. But I want to thank our mods, particularly. They've been with us basically some since day one, but all for years. And I'm so grateful to you guys for not only being our mods on the channel, but for helping us and being so kind and supportive. There's great people here, Jim, and that's thanks to you guys who come in and hang out with us and talk true crime and support these families. Thank you for doing that. I look forward to being able to send a little gift over to daughter number 2 for her birthday.
And thank y'all, echo Tia, and thinking, especially because I know there are tons of like entertaining or other things that you can even click on. So even be willing to sit through this and go through things with us, whether it's live or on the replay. It's very much appreciated.
Oh, Missy, I love when people say, I used to be a silent watcher. That is honestly the biggest compliment you could give is saying, I feel comfortable enough to speak in here. Honestly, if I could show you my arms, I'm a hot mess right now, but you would see goosebumps all over. And Chico, thank you. That is such a high compliment, saying that you appreciate the space here. We appreciate the space with you in it, and we appreciate your space too. I hope you guys have a really, really good weekend. I'm going to try and clear some notes up, maybe put something out that's a little more distinct. And I'll do my best to behave, but I'll be calling. Oh, thanks, Missy. We're doing our best. We're going to do our best. I'll be back on Monday. Court resumes at 9:30 on Monday, and I'm getting the hang of things there. So we'll just do what we can do. And LFT is running everything behind the scenes. So be sweet to her.
Oh, that's cute, but not really. But I'm doing what I can. I don't think
there's no word yet. So I think with this, we're just all trying to, and me too. I honestly don't know anything there. So we'll, if I find out more, we'll talk about it. But I just, the next 2 weeks, I really just want to focus on Rachel and her kids and do what we can to help them. Oh, thanks, Delina. I will. Thank you guys for being here. Please go to your favorite creators, whoever they may be, and like a bunch of their videos. Leave some comments. Tell them Decipher sent you. Support the true crime community. It's very small, but do what you can. And just, liking videos and leaving nice comments is a great way to do it. I'm going to go take a very hot shower, wash the day off, and try to go snuggle with my pups. I'm exhausted. So I hope you all have a great weekend. Message us. Like I said, do what you got to do. Email us, whatever. And we will be live probably Monday night. Maybe once over the weekend if we can. Have a great night, you guys. LFT, I will talk to you in a few moments.
Okay, after TT, but then call me.
Okay. Bye, guys. Take care. Thanks for the support.
Thanks so much.